Yeah, welcome to another episode of ArtCo Drone Solutions. Oh, we've got a good show today. Today, I am going to be talking about drone flying in Florida. I'm going to be going down there in a couple weeks to visit old guy in the drone, Mitch, down there. Going to spend about 6 days there, do some fishing and some drone flying. So uh, get out of this crappy cold weather here in Denver and for sunny, warm, 80-degree days. It'll be a blast. Going to be doing that. And hey, let's talk about the coronavirus and how that is affecting drone prices here in the U.S. and delivery of drones as well. So hey, welcome Mike B, aka Drone Ranger, Try Hard Sky. Steve Mack, welcome to the show. Okay, let's see. I got a message on Facebook. Okay, cool. We got. So I've put out. Oh, yeah. I started a little bit early, Mitch, just to kind of wait for people to come in, and then by the time you come in, there's going to be an audience here for you. So I was just talking about uh, coming down to visit you in a couple weeks and doing some drone flying and some fishing. I'm really excited about that. So really looking forward to that. And let's talk about coronavirus, how that's affecting uh, drone sales and drone prices, because everything has been shut down for a while. That drones haven't been be, being built or shipped, so that's going to have an effect on prices. But from what I hear, people are back at work. They're at the factory, and so production is back on track, and product is starting to move out to ship to the US and other parts around the world. So, looking forward to that. And oh, I saw a funny meme about the coronavirus that said it won't last. It was made in China. I thought that was pretty cool. And I also posted a photo of how I'm protected from the coronavirus with my virus detection. I just use a Norton antivirus CD as a mask. Oh, hey, welcome, Vidar, all the way from Europe. Welcome to the show. Uh, what time is it over there? It's probably around midnight there. I'm guessing. Yeah, and remember, when you get a drone from China and it's packed in bubble wrap, remember that bubble wrap has air from China. hmm Oh, great, Norway. All right, it's good to see another fellow Viking like myself. I'm a I'm a Carlson. We're from Sweden. Uh, I have family that came from small town outside Stockholm, Sweden. They were farmers, and they immigrated to the United States back in the 1888. My great great grandfather uh, Johann Carlson immigrated to Chicago, Illinois, and he was a blacksmith there. So, no, he'd be my great grandfather. That's right. And we got Mike B. Oh, yeah, I already said hello to him. And Thomas or Tomas O'Sullivan, welcome to the show. So, Vidar, where in Norway are you from? Are you near Oslo? Are you further south uh, in Norway, or are you closer to the Arctic Circle? Uh, David Smith, welcome to the show. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, uh, coronavirus. I just heard that they had one case confirmed in North Korea, and that guy was executed. Eh, boy, you don't want to get Southwest Coast. Oh, near Bergen. Okay, good, cool. Yeah, you don't want to catch a cold in North Korea. Boy, that's a terrible way to get over no, it's not cold. Some stuck in my throat. I caught. No cold, no cold, no virus, no virus. Oh, thanks, try hard, Sky. Thanks for subscribing. So yeah, boy, people there in North Korea, boy, they've got it tough there. Unless they're party members and they're living fairly well. Well, I will check out your channel after the live stream. Try hard and good luck to you. So I'm just waiting for some of my usual members to come on to the show. I sent out links to Mitch. Oh, Timeless Truth, welcome. And speaking of the devil, here's Mitch.
The devil?
And yeah,
The
well,
devil?
and then we have Steve.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the three amigos.
Hello,
Hi,
Mitch.
Steve. Hi, Art.
Yeah,
Hi, Mitch.
yeah.
Hi, Art.
Hey, Steve.
Good afternoon,
Uh,
gentlemen.
Yeah. Oh, now we have Bob Casey in the house.
oh
Welcome,
my
guys.
God.
Welcome,
How do
welcome.
you do it, Art? How do you fill them up so fast? I struggle when I start out, man.
you, you know, I just saw something really amazing today. My godson in the Philippines, his mother started a YouTube channel in January. Guess what? She's up over 900 subs.
She's prettier. I'll bet you she's prettier than you, too.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it's important.
Th-
yep,
that that helps a lot.
Uh,
yep.
more than you can imagine.
Well, now if she could build up her watch hours, she could be monetized in no time. But yeah, it's mostly her doing TikTok and videos with her kids. Yeah.
Well, that's nice. That's
Yeah.
nice.
So I
So did you
was,
get it? You
yeah, go
got
ahead.
got got a haircut. It looks like.
Yes, I did. Boy, I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Boy, it's getting shaggy and dragging on my collar. I hate that. I hate that. But you don't have that problem, do you, Mitch?
Well, yeah, I do. It grows in the back.
Oh,
In fact, there was a time when I just didn't get a haircut for like 6 months, and it was really starting to get long. And it was, and everybody said, "Why don't you let it grow and make a ponytail
yeah.
out of it?"
Or
No, not a comb over. No, not a comb over, but a ponytail. And they said I'd look like a Latin American drug dealer if I had a, a ponytail like that.
Especially if you were still flying still and had your airplane and living
Yeah,
where
air,
you do in Florida.
Yeah,
air America, man.
yeah,
Air Mitch.
yeah.
Air Mitch. Yeah.
Say hello to my little friend.
That's fine. So how you
Yeah.
doing, Steve? How's everything out there on the West Coast?
Actually, we have here back at home. I was up visiting my mom earlier, which is inland, like about 10 miles. It was mid 70s there, and here it's a little cooler. The clouds are coming in, and there's a chance of sprinkles coming in overnight, but it's going to blow on through. And I
Yeah.
was
Go
going to go
ahead this
flying,
way.
but we had a little too much wind. So,
Yeah, it's been windy here. I was really surprised to discover that down there in that area, in San Diego area, in June, it's cool.
oh
It
yeah.
because we went out for a few days to the Hotel Del Coronado,
Hmm.
and it was in June, and the weather was like overcast and chilly, and it was horrible.
Well, we have some sayings here. We got May gray, June gloom,
Really,
and hold on for July. You never know what the hell's going to happen. you can go up.
mudslides.
You can go up where I mean I'm my house here where I'm at sits 3/4 of a mile from the water roughly as a bird flies, and you can be 103, 104 degrees here, and but not the humidity that you have. You
Right.
know, it gets warm, but in August we get that weather change when it comes in, and all of a sudden it comes in, and the humidity will come in because we'll get the cloud cover and the inversion layer, which will move inland, and then we get the mugginess, and that it gets really uncomfortable. Then it's time to turn the AC on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Mike
Yeah.
Roche is in the house. Zeb Meat's in the house. How you doing, guys?
Yeah. Hello, Mike
Hey, Mike.
and Tomas. Hello, sir.
Try
Yeah.
Hard Sky says, "Is that a monkey?" I really hit on something with this monkey, didn't I?
Yeah.
And then some.
I mean, I nobody sees anything, on the screen, but they zero right in on the monkey,
Yep.
right in on the monkey. Here,
Yep.
yes, it is a monkey. It's my pet monkey named Spank.
Hmm.
That is as in Spank the
Yeah.
monkey,
We
and he's not a real monkey, as you can see. He's just a very clever graphic. Now get out of the way, Spank. All right.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, I'll get you on here. Let's see. I think I have his address. Let's see.
Yeah,
Mike.
let's see how that new studio's coming, Mike.
Yeah.
So what'd you think? What'd you think of the big protest at the FAA
Oh yeah.
headquarters? You're, I watched
Yeah.
a couple minutes of it on.
I saw Ken's video. I'm like, going, yeah, not really big crowds there. So.
No, and he said that the FAA told everybody they didn't have to come into work if they were afraid. Seriously, real. I mean, really, really.
Give me a break.
That's what he said. That's what he
I
said. He said
know.
they actually told they were there yesterday, and they told people they didn't have to come in today if they felt like they were threatened in any way.
Oh. Hey,
Now,
Mike Roach, I just sent you the link. If you want to jump on, just come on in. Cool. Yeah. So that's kind of counterproductive. Yeah. Oh, hey, let's have a protest, and there's nobody there.
well, they were talking about. You saw it. They were talking about whether um, they were looking out the window. Were the FAA people looking out the window?
Uh, oh, oh, my God. Oh,
You know,
Yesterday he said they were correct.
I think so. Yeah, a couple of them were looking out the window.
okay.
And that's sure to change their mind. I mean, I'm not even going to worry about it anymore.
One of
Now,
the
look,
better videos I've seen on it was one done by Test Flight, and they were invited to go and meet with the FAA. And they have a really good video out there talking about their meeting and how you should or should have written a response, not
Right.
just how it's going to affect you, but giving them a way of what you would like to see and leave it broad spectrum so it makes them think.
Right.
And he said their meeting with them, they were very welcoming. They opened them in, that they brought some different ideas to them that they had never even heard of. And that's why they felt that instead of just saying, well, you're doing this to me, you're doing this to me, well, what can it do? And one of the things was, we already have Lance out.
Yeah.
They have Lance out.
Mhm.
Why can't you have Lance available for your backyard or for a soccer field, not just an AMA airfield that somebody can't afford to go? And that's how they explained it in one of their scenarios in the video they just posted up, saying, hey, I can't afford the membership, or it's too far for me to drive to an FAA field. An AMA field. But we do it here in a soccer field. And another thing they brought, what about school programs where they fly and they get permission from the school to use the their playground or open field grounds,
Right. Right.
or a football field once the activities are not there? Why can't Lance make that into a closed off area and allow them to fly?
Right. Right.
And that's something that's already in place, and it's not going to cost anything else. I mean, they came up with some pretty good ideas in their video.
Well, whether they're going to listen or not. Uh-oh, got an echo.
Okay. Who's that going?
Who's in the green room? Maybe no.
Nope, there's nobody in the green room.
I'm
It's
muted.
gone. It's gone now.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, I heard myself talking. I mean, it was okay, but
That's a good thing, though, Mitch.
the AMA fields are so hostile to drones anyway. I mean, I'm a member of a club here, and I go out there and I feel like I've got leprosy or something. They're not interested. Even sometimes I'll even take my little ground station and say to them, "Hey guys, if you want to, watch and see what I'm seeing in the goggles, you can." Nobody cares. They don't ever even come look. They don't want to know anything about drones. And then they tell me, and then one guy had the nerve to say to me, yeah, all this AMA, all this FAA problem we're having now is your guys' fault. And that was all I needed. And that was the last time I went out to that field. They can go to hell, all of them. So looking for the AMA to accept us, in their clubs, especially the club that I'm in, which is I'm the young guy in the club, if that tells you anything. These guys, they go up and they fly their racetrack patterns around and around and around and around with airplanes they built 30 years ago, and that's all they care about. They have no idea about the new technologies, most of them. So they're just not interested, and the FAA, unfortunately, we've talked about this. I am not an optimist about the public's chance of changing bureaucrats' minds on virtually any subject at any time in the history of the world. I've tried in the past, never had any luck. Every time you read, like I said before, every time you read an article about a county commission meeting where somebody's requested a zoning change and 5,000 neighbors get in an uproar because they don't want whatever this thing they're going to build in their neighborhood, and they all come in and they make a big scene and they protest and they speak for 3 hours in front of the meeting, and then then they vote the way they were going to vote anyway because somebody paid them off. And unfortunately, that seems to be the way it works.
A little different here in California, at least in our California area, especially for building. We have a thing called California Coastal Commission, and they do listen. The FAA, I agree, is another story. That's federal. But I think the way I'm going to try to pull up the link for this last video they did, and for those who haven't commented yet, please go out and comment. That's the
Mm-hmm.
best thing you can do. There's over 19,000 comments so far, so it's grown a far shout better from when it started.
I'm typing.
Yep. Hello, Ted 10, PA drones, and EBR FPV.
Well, we'll see what happens, Steve. Whatever's going to happen, it's according to what they announced, it's going to be years before anything ever
Yeah.
comes
Right.
to fruition. They don't even have all the stuff they propose doesn't even exist yet. The technology doesn't exist. The companies that they're intending to let manage this don't exist. None of this stuff exists. And a first draft or proposed legislation, the final legislation generally never even resembles what they started with, especially if it's going to take 3 or 4 years. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll just keep flying our drones. And this Bill Thomas is in here, says boycott
Yeah,
drone
Bill
delivery. Yeah,
Yep.
shoot them down. Well, that's going to be great. Like until Domino's drops a pizza on some old lady's head, and that'll be the end of drone delivery.
Yeah.
All those lawyers that you see advertising on television.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
you
they're going to have a
get
whole
injured by a drone,
right, and a
well,
whole new thing. It's a whole
Yeah.
new thing. Yeah,
yeah.
Did
Call out
Amazon
to
drop
Schmott
laundry
Law
detergent on
Firm.
your head? Yeah. Did Amazon drop laundry detergent on your head?
Yeah.
If so, you may be entitled to huge amounts of money.
We could get you millions.
Yeah.
Michael Blade, welcome to the show. Hey, Chris Hope, welcome.
Hey, Chris Hope is here.
Yeah.
I thought Mike Roach was coming in to visit us.
Yeah, I thought so too. Maybe he's hopefully checked his email. I sent it to his email, and I think I sent a link to Chris Hope. Oh, and then the Bowden family. Hello, hello.
Hello, Michael Blade.
Yeah.
How you doing? They can drop it on me. I need the money. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it's gonna be a free for all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I still can't see how they can make it a practical money making proposition to be delivering things by drones, because it's got to be short range. So most of the stuff you see is the drones are dispatched from a delivery truck.
Mm-hmm.
And then the driver, in the time it takes to launch to put the package on the drone, pre-flight the drone, launch the drone, wait for the drone to get to where it's gone, which is probably within walking distance of where she is or he is already. Have the thing. Is it going to wait for the resident of the house to go out to retrieve the package before it leaves it, or is it just going to drop it, or is it going to drop it? Where's it going to drop it? Imagine if somebody was trying to deliver a package by drone to Philly Mike. Now think about this. You've seen where Philly Mike lives,
Yep.
and you've seen the street. It's a narrow street surrounded by row houses with wires everywhere. So where are they gonna put the package on a street like that in South Philly without it being gone in about 3 seconds after the drone leaves?
Yep.
They're
Mm-hmm.
not.
They're not.
Mhm.
It's not practical. And out in the countryside, I doubt that these things are going to have more than maybe 2-3 mile range. Steve, what do you think?
Right.
Practically, drive the truck,
Yeah.
drop the package off, get back in the truck, and go to the next house. I don't know why they think they all have to try it.
Well, in the UPS commercial, which you've seen, because I take it you've seen it.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about, where she's standing there waiting for the drone to come back.
Well, she's delivering at the next package though. She's delivering while it's delivering, so it's not stop. It's autonomous, so it's going to be simultaneously. And UPS has the first license already to do this. The first airline license to fly UAV for delivery.
I can see a good use for it in maybe flying medical samples to a lab
Yep.
that need to be that in emergency situations where something needs to get to a lab real quick
Hmm.
and get results. But I don't know. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see. But to
Right.
cripple to if that's the reason they feel they have to put an entire hobby and hundreds of thousands of people out of a hobby that they enjoy, I don't see the logic of it unless there's an awful lot of money coming in to a lot of pockets from these
Uh-huh.
companies that want to do it.
Well, Bill says fast food delivery. Yeah. Gotta get the right one. Yeah. Yeah. When it comes in cold, you're not happy with your Happy Meal.
Not just that, but imagine how big a drone you need to deliver a 16-inch pizza.
Hmm.
I just want to know how they delivered it from the Naked Wine to the Celebrity Cruise Line to that guy that was on board, and they delivered um, 2 cases of wine
Yeah,
to him.
yeah, two
That's
cases.
the one
Yeah,
I want to see. I don't care about anybody else. That's the one I want to see.
yeah. You need a damn Sikorsky sky crane to deliver
Hmm.
packages that heavy.
Oh, I like this one. They could deliver drone parts from China by
Yeah.
drone. Oh heck, deliver the complete drone.
And how long is it going to take before people start abusing the system, delivering things with drones that aren't registered, or
Yeah,
breaking the laws, um,
breaking the law, breaking the law. Dude.
or just for fun shooting down these delivery drones?
Mhm.
That's going to become a whole new sport.
Hey, Billy Bob. Hey, somebody's flying a drone over my head. Hey, it looks like pizza.
Yeah. Catch me a slice on the way down.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't
Oh,
hold out
there
a
we
lot of hope
go.
for it.
Put the motors on the pizza. Yeah, but that would make the pizza cold.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's
yeah.
blowing all that wind on the pizza. So then they
Hmm.
got to put it in a big heat pack,
Hmm.
which weighs another pound or two. I don't
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, somebody must know something for them to be going through all this that I don't know, and that's not impossible to
Yep.
imagine that there's something I don't know. So
Well, I think the people that I've heard talking about it's and my past experience dealing here in California with county, state, local, and city, for instance, like our own harbor, it took many years. It took many years. It took 20 years. Hello, Mike.
Hey man,
Yeah.
how you
We
doing,
won't
Steve?
we won't
Good.
call him Mini
Rich,
Mike.
Art.
there you
I
go.
don't, I don't
I'm
give me
providing
godly
I'm
music.
providing the sound effects tonight.
It took 20 years from when they first started with our supervisor for our local harbor. And it's nothing that's going to happen quick with anything to do with
Right.
any governmental agencies. We all know that. It's a slow process.
Yes.
But you know what? In the long run, we our county wanted to get rid of 1,400 slips out of our harbor. And in the long run, what it ended up being, okay, the maximum loss of slips was going to be 155 slips, and there's going to be exchanges, and they have to strive for zero loss. And I think you just have to go through the process
Right.
of it's a long process. You take your time, but you know what? You go through it and you give them, just like the flight test said, you give them some open areas for them to look at. In other
Right.
words, don't just complain, which a
Mhm.
lot of people did with a harbor. We went through and did a lot of, of what do I want to say, ways that they can go around in order to, gosh, I'm drawing a blank.
I know what you're trying to. You're trying to
Yeah,
say,
you
give them
give them
alternatives.
the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, give them
Give them
alternatives
the
to
answer.
solve the problem.
Yeah.
And we could do that with the FAA. We know what they're trying to accomplish. It's very simple. They want to control. They want to be able to know where everything is in the airspace, and that's not a bad idea. I don't have any problem with having my drone have a transponder on it, transmitting its altitude and position. I have no problem with that at all. But and I have no problem with following some simple basic rules, even if it means don't fly over 200 feet. Whatever it is. But don't say that some guy living in the middle of the desert out in Arizona can't fly a tiny whoop 6 feet off the ground because he's a menace to aviation.
Mhm.
That you have to find some limit of what you think you need to control, and whatever define whatever goals
Mhm.
have they. Do you think they've really defined their goal yet? Even I
You
don't think
know,
so.
I was watching. All of us have been around over 50 years. Or almost 60 for me anyway. Enough time to have gone through public hearings, all this stuff. I
Yep.
was watching some of those meetings the other day with the FAA, and I
Mhm.
remember being in meetings way back when I was green as a leaf back in the 1980s, where it seemed like the fix was in,
You think?
and the listening was just, going through the motions. And I agree. I don't think it's going to happen in its current form. The technology doesn't exist yet, so there's nothing for us to worry about yet. But um, it's like you said, Mitch. I have no problem with a transponder or some broadcast of my drone's location and license plate, so to speak, FAA number, whatever. But that's all fine. Um, I understand, security concerns, etc., for terrorism and whatnot. Um, but my concern is, if it ever did come through where the general public, and I don't think it's ever going to happen, that someone's going to be able to pull up a phone and see where your location is. But we've had drones get shot out of the sky before with
Yep.
Uh-huh.
shotguns, and imagine if the guy knows where you are and he comes over and confronts you, then you got a real situation on your hands.
Right.
That's crazy. So,
Yeah,
um,
all that stuff is nuts, and maybe they should take a little time and, like I said, define what their goal is before they be creating solutions to problems that don't exist.
Right.
Because these problems don't exist. Model airplanes aren't killing people. Drones aren't killing people.
right.
Yeah, a drone could be used by a tourist.
Yeah.
So can a minivan. So can any airplane.
Right.
Yep.
We've seen how
And
how
the thing
that works
is,
out.
and if a terrorist is hell bent on, flying using a drone for terrorism, they're going to use home built stuff with no transponder and
Yeah.
control anyway.
Mhm.
They'll have the wherewithal to do that. So
Mhm.
it's kind of pointless in that sense. It does seem like kind of an eminent domain for a private uh, constituency of the skies. You know what I'm saying? Like as if they're taking land from a private property owner. They're taking the skies away from us for Amazon and FedEx and whomever.
Mhm.
Theoretically, and wait till if that ever comes to fruition. Wait till one of those gigantic Amazon drones crashes into
Yeah.
someone's yard or their house
Yeah,
or
we
the
were
streets
talking
of New
about
York
that. Yeah.
City.
Mhm.
That we aren't going to be talking phantom sized drones or even matrice. If these going to carry 20-pound, 30-pound payloads, they're going to be
Yep.
huge, and they will
Huge.
crash
Mhm.
eventually.
Well, of course they're going to have a failure.
Yeah,
Especially if they start doing them in the numbers they think they're going to be
right.
doing them. I mean, their vision is, you won't be able to look up at the sky without seeing 30, 40 drones going in every which direction. That's what they seem to think is going to happen.
Well, that's
First
a
of all, that's
long
going to be
ways off.
just as annoying as hell anyway, between the noise and the fact that you can't even look at the sky anymore and enjoy looking at the sky. I don't know. I don't hold any hope that they're actually going to come out with anything
Right.
concrete. Maybe not even in my lifetime. We don't know how long
Right.
I got left anyway.
I think you're right though. It is so far to come up with technology where you're going to be able to safely do that on any mass scale.
Right.
And over really long distances. It just and 3 days ago it was like 25 degrees wind, 25 degrees out with 25-mile-an-hour gusts of wind. They wouldn't deliver on that day.
No, that's
So
another thing that nobody's talking about, and you just brought up is weather. I mean, just trying to fly our hobbyist drones, just waiting for a good day, is a pain. Imagine if your business relied on having good weather to do this. And how do you plan for that? Especially down here in Florida, where you never know when the skies are going to open up, or you're going to get a microburst or something like. How are they going to schedule this stuff around weather? I guess we'll all
yeah,
see. Yeah.
yeah.
Changing the
So
subject, Mike. Your studio is starting to really have some glamour to it, man.
yeah,
Oh, like the
yeah.
blue light behind you. Yeah, look at that.
It's the Clark Gable room, and
That's you come a long way since the kitchen.
right. I, yeah, a little bit of change, the kind of little light behind me. Just the camera can zoom in or zoom out depending on how I want it to be.
Right.
Well, cool.
It all depends on whether it's Zoom or StreamYards. Everything it looks different on every different one.
Right.
This looks pretty clear tonight, though. I got to say.
Right.
But so, and I take it you guys all sent your comments in. I did, and Steve, I kind of went along with what Flight Path said there. I didn't watch their video, but I commented on several levels, not just it'll make it so I can't fly.
Right.
I'm not going to cry the river over a $9 fee or something like that.
Hmm.
But about whether it's legal to do so and safe to do so, and wise to do so for private interests to take away, our right to pursue our hobby, and how limiting it'll be. And then I did add the personal aspect of being a disabled person and how much liberty you get flying,
Right.
when you have lack of mobility. And you could probably relate to that, Art.
Mhm.
It's you feel like a bird up there,
Yeah.
and everybody does.
Yeah, you do.
Hey, is anybody speaking of that, Mike? That may be an avenue for some good legal challenges to this through the ADA.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh
you're
yeah.
right. Yes, Mitch.
If they do come out with this kind of stuff, if enough people got together and showed how it's going to lessen the quality of their lives for no
Yeah.
reason, that's a
Yeah.
that might be an avenue to at least get it into the courts.
Right.
Somebody's going to have to, when they come out with this thing. It's got to be put through, and then I believe Congress has to act on it, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Just like they have to do the FAA reauthorization acts. So then it's got to go through Congress, and then of course we're going to go through another whole round of this: call your congressman, call your senator stuff, write letters, do emails and all that.
Yeah.
And that normally doesn't do anything either. But after it becomes law, it can be challenged in the
Right.
courts. And
Right.
that's probably where we may have a chance of getting some relief.
Right.
But
Right.
Because
somebody with deep pockets will probably make a challenge. Someone in the country.
well, I would
Right.
think some of the big drone manufacturers would be the ones to support that kind of a move.
Yeah.
The companies like Race.
manufacturing the delivery drone.
Yeah, well, but you got companies like Race Day Quads, Get FPV, Horizon Hobby, all of these
Right.
And Horizon Hobby is nothing to sneeze at. They're a pretty big outfit. You know, these people, their business is going to be hurt if not killed by this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, these are the people that could. They already got lawyers. They already got money. And their business depends on it. So they probably have a better reason than a hobbyist who probably is going to fly anyway. You know, most of us. I hate to say I'm a lawbreaker, but you know, we all break the law every day. We do. We break the law every day. You can't get out of bed in the morning without breaking the law. Every time you get in your car, you break the law. And anybody who tells me they don't go 1 mile an hour over the speed limit is lying to me. So you're breaking the law. You know,
not me. I'm the guy everybody gives the finger to for not going.
Well,
fast
then you're
enough.
breaking the law. You're the guy that's gone slow in the left lane. You're breaking the law too.
I
There are
keep it
so
in the right
many.
lane.
There are so many laws that in the course of a normal day we all break, especially the going over the speed limit laws. We do it anyway. How are they going to police this thing?
Well,
If I decide to take my little,
for us camera guys, they'll police it just by breaking our drones.
well, that's, you know, but we'll have to change. We may have to change the way we do things.
Right.
And that may really hurt companies like DJI, but
Yeah.
I can build a drone that you know, when I build a quad, I can build a quad that'll do almost everything that a DJI drone will do. I can build one that has stability, that follows waypoints, that has altitude hold and position hold. I can put a gimbal camera on it as well and control the movements of the camera. I can do all this with iNav, with a flight controller, no cell phone, and nothing that connects to the internet or broadcasts anything except the video signal to my goggles. I mean, I can do that now. So
if that ever happened, I'd be out of the hobby because I don't have that ability, you know.
But that unfortunately is what's going to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
maybe not. Maybe not.
well, who knows? Who knows?
I used up all the characters except for 100 in that comment section on the online. You know, they had 5,000 characters I think you could put in,
Yeah.
and I left like 100 to go. So I wrote them a
haven't
pretty
done
long
mine yet.
letter.
I'm saving mine till the very end.
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping that maybe they'll actually read the later comments as they come in
Yeah.
instead of getting buried in the middle of 10,000, 20,000
I
comments.
think someone's going to glance over them and put them under against, for, against. For. It's going to be a cursory look. You know what I'm saying? I
But
don't see
if
them
you write-
being read word per word.
If you write something that really makes sense, for example, if you put in your comment the golden answer, the perfect solution that'll solve their problem and make everybody happy, you think they'll notice it? You think that they're actually going to take the time to read each of these things and analyze them and try to understand? Some of them are probably written very eloquently, with a lot of thought.
Oh, thank you.
Do you think that some second-rate clerk at the FAA that they've tasked with going over these things is going to really give any of this stuff the consideration that it deserves? I don't hold my hopes up for that, but
Right.
I am going to write. I am going to send one in anyway, and it's going to be nice, and it's going to try to make logical points. And my biggest point is that they're doing all this without a goal. They don't really know what it is they're trying to accomplish because they have no clue what the future is going to bring 5 years from now as far as
Right.
how these delivery drones are actually going to work in real world situations. And the whole purpose of my answer is going to be put the brakes on it, guys. And I'm going to say it in a nice, respectful way, but I'm going to ask a lot of questions. Don't you think it would be smart to put the brakes on this and spend a little more time deciding what it is that you want to accomplish? First, and then when you know where you want to be, where you know where your destination is, then plan your route. You don't go
You know-
on vacation. You don't plan the roadmap, and if you don't know where you're going.
Right.
Yeah.
You know who had a pretty good idea I just watched yesterday? You know that guy XJet?
Oh
That,
yeah,
New
the
Zealander?
Australian guy or New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He suggested putting a link into a YouTube video that you say is an important part of your comments, and put it on YouTube as unlisted, and see if it gets watched. Because there was a section to attach
That's a
Yeah.
good
files
idea.
in the comments section, and I imagine you could put a link in your comments or in that section. It would
That's
be
a great
interesting to see
idea.
if it gets no views.
You know what, Mike? I'm going to make a video with the monkey like this, and I'm going to have the monkey talk in the video
It's funny. I was just listening to the Beatles a little while ago,
to the
and I listened to the
FAA.
song "Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except for Me and My Monkey."
Yeah, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the
And
monkey
mention
in
this
there,
monkey.
just like this, and I'm going to have that monkey looking at him, and I'm going to narrate it, and we'll see if it gets any views. That's a good idea. Make it unlisted. See if anybody looks at it. His name is Bruce, isn't it? Extra.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know what his last name.
You
was.
know, when I first saw him, I actually held out a glimmer of hope for a short, brief, shining moment that there was somebody older than me. But I don't think so. I think he's not.
Oh.
But I did have hopes when I first saw him that I might not be the oldest guy on the planet.
Well, Ken Heron had like a 99-year-old lady fly his Phantom.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But not an FPV pilot. That's
No,
what I'm
no.
looking for.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
looking for an FPV pilot that's older than me.
Yeah, that was
Somebody.
his teacher, Mike, if I remember right.
Huh?
Yeah, that was his teacher, I think.
It's,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the teacher or neighbor or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
was
think it
kinda
was
cool.
a friend of his mom's or something. Yeah.
Well, he's done that with his mom too, but that was his something to do a teacher or somebody.
Oh,
Yeah.
Known for
Yeah.
a long time.
Mhm.
yeah, she
I
was
saw
wasn't
his,
she 100 years, 101
Yeah.
or something like that. She was over
101.
100 years
Still
old. Yeah.
driving.
yeah.
So there's hope for
Right,
you.
right. She
Mike.
drove his car, as a matter of fact. Remember, he let her drive the car.
Mitch, there's hope for you yet then.
There is.
He might even go slower than me.
No, but I think a lot of the different views, I'm doing the same thing. I'm waiting towards the end. And then a lot of the people that I'm getting more and more, I should say, more influence from is that they are putting it into a perspective of what it is doing to you as a person. But this is a way that you could hopefully look at it in order to resolve the problem instead of just complaining about it. Giving them like a bait, but keeping it very broad spectrum. Don't be concise or everything, leaving it open so that it gives ways that hopefully they'll come back and either talk to you or groups or other people of how to resolve the problem. But when it's affecting you, what can be done to resolve it?
Yeah.
Not just leaving it as a bash open session, which if you go look at them, a lot of it is. It's just complaining and bitching and moaning.
Right.
Yeah.
That will get you and I nowhere.
Right.
I didn't want to wait till the last minute only because I was afraid, like, all of a sudden I'd go to put it in and be like, our site is down for maintenance or something like that, one of those type things. And missed the I wanted to get a comment in whether we have hope or not,
Yeah.
Right.
get it done. So, but yeah, that's true that, not just complain, try and offer suggestions or at least avenues, like I would be willing to accept and adhere to this, but just don't have, everybody knowing where I'm standing and force me to pay for a service that could be hacked or sold or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, because we all know that never happens, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You want to hear an interesting story?
Ooh.
Was talking
You
about
tell.
talking about the lack of privacy and
Yeah.
and
That's-
everything with all of the with the Google and all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
go
went to
ahead.
my daughter. I went to my daughters in
Yeah.
Tampa.
Uh-huh.
Behave yourself, Art.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go
I
ahead.
went to my
I'm
daughters
listening.
in Tampa. No, you're not. You're talking. It's a big difference. Talking,
You don't say.
listening. Okay, I went to my daughters in Tampa and to visit, and so we're watching TV. Uh, sitting around after dinner watching TV, and we're watching YouTube. Now, I'm watching TV on her television, logged in to YouTube under her account. Okay, and she pulls up this something that she likes to watch is this show where this guy has celebrities come in and they eat chicken wings or progressively hotter chicken wings. Have you
Yeah.
ever seen
Right.
that?
I think we've all caught a glimpse of
I
that.
had never heard of that show before. Okay, so I watched a
You're
couple. We
obviously
watched
not a connoisseur of chicken wings, then.
well, we watched a couple of them and watched one that had Gordon Ramsay. Okay, but that's not the weird part. The weird part is
Oh, that's weird.
when I got home, and the next
No.
day, and I turned on YouTube. Guess what show came up in my recommendations on my YouTube
wings.
channel? The
Hot
Chicken
wings,
Wing Show.
baby.
Now, how the hell? I never had that show recommended before, but here I am in my daughter's watching it on her TV. Google knew where I was, what was happening while I was there, and their algorithm put two and two together and recommended it to me on my channel when I got home. Now, if that
What
isn't enough
was
to
that
spook you,
suggested channel?
I forget the name of it. It was the Hot Chicken Wing
Sure,
channel.
you forget the name of it.
I do, Mike.
Big brother.
No, but I mean, how did that happen? How did that? I started hearing the theme from the Twilight Zone playing at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, they.
Your
you know,
phone was
I-
there with you.
That's what I figured. So I'm saying
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
that's the only way they could have put me together with that chicken wing channel was to know that I was in the physical vicinity of a device that was playing that.
Well,
Other than that,
also,
I
you
can't
know how
think-
you give, we
Do
sign
they
up for these things and we give access to our contact list, our location.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's all kinds of algorithms. Who knows? You know, the service knows that you're at your daughter's house, even. You know,
But that's what struck me is this is getting to be, I think, a little too much.
Oh, my stepdaughter was shopping at the mall, and all of a sudden she's there on the phone, and we were talking. All of a sudden, boom! She's walking by these stores, and the advertisements are coming in for the stores that she's walking by her in the mall, real time.
Well, that happens to me every time I go to Best Buy because I have the Best Buy app on my phone. And,
Yeah.
and it knows whenever I get close, I mean, when I get within like a quarter mile of the Best Buy, my phone goes ding and all the specials from Best Buy show up.
That's why you turn off the notifications to all those.
Right.
Yeah, I
I
deleted
think
the
that
app
kind
is
of
what I
thing
did.
is a little more something you can opt in or out of.
Yeah.
You know, but I also think there's something to the fact that they're always listening nefariously. You know, what do you think, Mel?
See this? That's never been opened.
Oop.
I had to turn my
Oh
mic.
no, it's
Never
still
been-
listening. It's still listening.
No, it isn't. It's not plugged in. It's not turned on. Doesn't have anything.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They probably got a secret hidden battery in there with a
No.
20-year lifespan that listens. Even it listens to you when you're in the store looking at it on the shelf.
Oh, I like this one. A guy was dragging a stroller full of phones that was on in the city.
Google
center.
reported a traffic jam. That
That's
last
pretty good.
I love that.
I
That's
guarantee they are watching. People are worried about things. And Mitch, the reason I came in is I have to defend myself and the honest people in the world because there are a few left. I didn't get 3 million miles with no tickets by speeding. I don't
You're the
speed.
guy.
I
You're
set
the
my
guy.
I set my cruise at the speed limit, not
Really?
1 or 2 over, not 5 under, but I used my cruise control, and I said if the speed limit's 70, I set it at 70. If I come into town and the speed limit reduces to 65, I reduce my cruise control to 65.
You
I
must
mean,
have a lot of pissed off people behind you. That's all I can say.
well, they just have to get the F over it.
I have
There's
one,
a speed limit.
I have one question. Then.
It's not a suggestion. It's a limit.
I have a suggestion. I have a question for you, Mel.
Be careful, Steve, because you know I'll answer it.
Why does your logo show you flying over 400 feet above ground level?
Well, how does my logo show me over
It shows
400
you
feet?
above 400 feet in your logo.
No, it shows 400 feet. The digital scale is reading 400 feet.
You read your logo, and your logo shows you flying above 400 feet.
It doesn't show me flying anywhere.
Cat fight.
It shows you flying 440 feet.
You're reading it wrong, Steve. In all actuality, when I made that, I set the small hand at, I think, 500 feet, and I set the big hand at 400 feet, and they're supposed to be both set at the same number. I misdid the digital art, and it's too damn much work to go back and change it.
And I read it right.
No, actually, the little hand is set to 500 feet, I think, if you look at it. I'd have to go look at it. It's either 5 or 600. But
What's a few feet, Mel?
well, see, each one of those ticks is 200 feet because it's 1,000 feet to the first one. There's so it'd be 2, 4, 6, 8, and I think I've got the small hand of the altimeter set on the third tick, which would be 600 feet.
I gotta look it up here. Hold on.
Yeah, the big hand is set to the 4, but the little hand is set to 600. If you actually look at the altimeter and read it as an actual instrument.
Okay.
Let's see here.
But
I
anyway,
have it set at 4, and you're over 4.
Yeah, no, you've got the hundreds right on the 4. That's correct.
yeah, but the thousands
And the
is
big
on the.
and the big hand is a half a notch too far.
Oh, is it?
Well, it's 5 instead of 4. The notches are every. There's 5 notches, I think, in the altimeter. It's one.
You guys are gonna make me pull the file up and look at this thing, aren't you? You pickers.
I'm looking at it here, and
Mitch, you're the pilot.
Where are we at?
yeah,
400.
it's if I was looking at an altimeter like that in an airplane,
Logos.
I would read it as 400 feet.
He's over 400 feet.
Well, no, not really, because the big hand is on the 4, and that's the hundreds. See, the little hand is the thousands. So yeah, he's a little. His thousands hand really is like at 500, but the fact
No,
that
the
the big
thousand-
hand is
well,
right
yeah.
on the 4.
It's a little under 600. Yeah.
Yeah, but the
And
big
it's-
hand is the big hand is the one that tells you the hundreds, and that's right
Yeah.
on 400. So,
But maybe
right.
he was flying next to
Exactly.
a skyscraper.
Exactly.
Oh, I like what Jody says. No, we want you to edit it live.
Well, I can do that. Be careful what you wish for. No, they. I actually was listening to you guys talking about the possible rules for remote ID.
Oops, sorry.
There's no doubt that remote ID is coming. And there's also no doubt that DJI equipment already has the capability to transmit our remote ID, license plate number, whatever.
Right.
My only issue is who is able to get that information.
Right.
That's my only issue with it. The general public doesn't need to know what I'm doing. if I'm flying near a prison or something that I'm unaware is there for some reason, if I'm in a strange area that I'm not aware of, then law enforcement has every right to come and say, "Hey, why are you flying here? Did you know?" And I said, "Oh, hell no, I didn't know. Let me get out of here. I don't want to be here." But the the thing is the things that I have the biggest issues with about the whole plan that the FAA is doing is broadcasting information that's going to be stored on a database somewhere that supposedly I would have to pay for the storage. That's unconstitutional, as Obamacare was. The government cannot force you to buy a particular product. And if the FAA passes this rule as it is written, it will be the same thing essentially. They'll be forcing us to buy a particular product because we use a particular product. And I don't think that's constitutional, in my opinion.
Well, they're going to claim that if you want to drive a car, you have to buy car insurance. They're going to claim that it's the same thing as that, and that are I agree with you, Mel. I agree, but they come out with the well, driving is a right, not a privilege. I mean, a privilege, not a right. Flying is a privilege, not a right.
And, well, that is also
gonna,
true.
And they're going to use that argument anyway. So you can't win. You can't win for losing.
It falls in the same book. You're right, and it's almost on the same page. But
but you make a good point.
The commercial stuff.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Under 107 rules, you cannot carry someone else's product for hire with a drone under 107 rules, and you cannot transport said product across state lines under 107 rules. However, there are other sets of rules. And as you know, Mitch, the manned aircraft fall under a certain set of rules. And I don't, under CFR 14, we have 107 commercial, commercial stuff that the big box things will be doing. I think it's under 135.
Well, commercial big boy planes are under 135 as well. And then you have 61 and 91.
61's a private pilot, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
the
135 covers charters and operations.
Charters and cargo and things like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's the rules that they'll be flying under. The flying hey Chris, the flying the law of the land basically will be very similar. They're not supposed to go above 400 feet. They're supposed to yield to manned aircraft. All of those things with an unmanned aircraft still apply. The total weight cannot be more than 55 pounds, right, including the aircraft. Right. So they're not going to be able to deliver much, okay? Because the aircraft that they're going to be using, the aircraft that they'll have to use in order to be able to withstand the wind and things like that will be encountered, are going to be above Matrice series, Matrice or above. I mean, they're going to have to be decent sized heavy lifters.
Oh, it's Rodney.
Is Rodney live?
Yeah, he's live.
Oh,
wow. Hey, Rodney.
Can you see him?
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's from the hospital.
Yep.
Yeah, he's in the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I just got the notification.
Yeah, it just came up on my cell phone. Oh, good for him. I'm going to send him a little chat note saying we're...
Say hi for me, too. I don't have the
capability. Hello, Rodney.
At Arts.
ArtCo. Drone Solutions.
Excuse me, at ArtCo.
So those guys look pretty cold down there in Washington today, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Ken had his little hat on. With,
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to pull the flaps down and
Yeah,
tie
yeah.
the
Yeah,
chin.
Nook of the North hat. Yeah.
Yeah, yep,
It's
I
funny, from
wonder.
the look of the crowd, it seemed to be mostly FPV guys, which,
yeah.
a lot
It
of
was.
gauges in the ears and
It was hard to
vaping and
tell.
stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
He's saying hello to all of us because I put in the
Hey,
chat that we're
hello,
all watching him.
Rodney.
Yeah.
Oh, he can't see that, but how about that? That's great. That's great. Good for him.
Do you guys know what procedure he had done?
Had a
Yeah, I
quadruple
had
bypass.
quadruple
Yeah.
bypass. Yeah.
Geeks want to know. We don't know if anybody from the FAA spoke or anything today. We're unsure at this point. We don't have that information.
Mhm.
But I wonder if Ken flew his drone. He said he was going to fly there. So I
I
don't
think he
know.
was going to fly a balloon.
He was going to fly
Oh,
a helium
right.
balloon,
The
and
camera.
even that was found out he wasn't allowed to do.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A big, gigantic helium balloon he bought.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
right.
Yeah.
Well, he should have been able to fly a tethered balloon. That should have made no.
Either that or it wouldn't fit in his little car.
Well, you
Yeah.
have to get a tank and then fill it up there.
Right. Yeah, he found some legal thing though where he couldn't do that. That's what he said anyway.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
The rules are very restrictive when you get that close to our nation's capital. But
You're grounded.
basically,
Yeah.
basically,
Good evening, Joe and Mona.
Buffering real bad.
yeah, I've noticed that too on my phone. Yeah, so they will be flying if this all goes through, if they actually are able to do this. And it requires special licensing as well. And as of this moment, there's only one corporation that has been granted that license to fly drones under the 135 rules.
Quickly.
Does anybody know who it is?
Hello.
Yep.
Who?
Yeah.
UPS.
UPS.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we were talking about that before you got here. See, so we
Oh.
knew all the we.
Okay.
When it absolutely positively has to be there over your head.
Right. Right.
No, when it positively, absolutely has to be here because I'm starving to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, UPS doesn't deliver food now.
Yeah. So, like I said, the thing is like, they're not going to be able to carry much because,
Right.
like a matrice, that has the ability to do that, a heavy lifter, that thing weighs like 25 pounds or something, I mean, it's not a lightweight drone.
Yeah.
Right.
I carried Brian's case and all one time, and I'm not going to lie to you, it took both of us to lift that damn case into the back of his pickup truck.
Oh,
That's
boy.
not something I could have hiked it up there by myself, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was one of those things,
And that's a good point, Mel. I mean, the type of aircraft it would take to make any substantial deliveries besides
Safely.
what Ken jokes
Safely.
about, like tube socks, is like, it seems to me it's just pie in the sky fantasy stuff in anywhere near future. It's
Well,
it can't be worth doing.
you might be surprised that it might be a lot closer to being able to be done than we realize. But getting
but
all of
lightweight
the
objects,
I's,
though, right?
getting all of the I's dotted and the T's crossed is what's going to take the time.
Yeah.
Not making it happen is relatively easy. It's getting all the I's dotted and the T's crossed to make it happen. That's going to be the difficult part.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that the community is coming together over this whole thing, not just
Yeah.
the drone, not just the camera droners or the FPVers or the fixed wing RC guys. Um, we all need to let everyone know that we enjoy this as a hobby as well. Some of us make some money at doing this.
That's right.
So,
Well, I will.
and if you think about it, how high do we have to fly?
Well,
Really, when it comes right down
Mhm.
to it, how high do we really have to fly as
I
high?
very rarely go
Right.
over 200 feet. Very rarely ever
My,
go over
my,
200
my
feet.
point exactly.
Mhm.
I
Most of the
rarely
time,
go.
I'm below the treetops. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
and
Yeah. And we're given 400 right now, and that is absolutely plenty. I mean,
sure,
sometimes that might help you. I don't know if you. There's rarely a good shot at 400 feet,
exactly.
unless you're, So I
Sunrise,
agree.
sunset, something like that. Where you've got a lot of landscape you want to try and get in the image. Yeah, it helps to be up there a little bit higher. Um, but when it really comes down to it, because of the camera capabilities that we fly, 400 feet in the air, you can't see anything on the ground worth looking at anyway.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
so personally, if it was me that was trying to help set this up, I would say limit the hobby pilots to 50 or 100 feet, limit the commercial licensed pilots, the 107 pilots, to 200 feet, and then give commercial transportation 200 to 500.
Mhm.
And it,
It's going to be tough it would be tough when you're flying to actually try to follow some of those rules, though.
Mhm.
And the model airplane guys, there'd be no way. You flew model airplanes, Mel. You go out, and make a big loop, okay? You're going to be 500 feet in the air at the top of the loop. So those guys are going to have more trouble than the drones because they don't have
Right.
telemetry. They don't know how
not,
high they are. We
yeah,
used to
but
go
not
up to
necessarily, they're not 500 feet in the air.
Let me tell you, when we were flying those model jets, the turbines,
Mhm.
we were going up to 2,000 feet at the top of some of these and higher at the top of some of these maneuvers because these things would
Mhm.
climb straight up at 150 miles an hour.
Right.
They're
Well,
gone. I mean, there's no
that
way they're going to survive.
that's a different kind of thing. But
Yeah.
the average fixed wing hobby flyer doesn't fly more than about 100 feet off the ground. I mean, I was at the AMA field here in Fort Smith with my drone at 200 feet, and I was looking down at everybody, and I mean severely looking down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you
You
get
know,
you get some of the glider guys like to get up there to catch thermals, they get way up.
Yep. Mhm.
But
the
first of all,
other, the,
airplanes have no business down there anyway, unless they're
Yeah.
near an airport and landing and taking off.
Right.
that's exactly true.
Mhm.
And so we don't really have to worry about manned aircraft other than light flight helicopters, police
Yeah,
helicopters,
helicopters. Yeah,
things like
Mhm.
that.
yeah. Or
Um,
or idiots with too much money that just bought a helicopter and they're trying to learn to fly it and they're out there buzzing around everywhere at 75 feet off the ground.
yeah.
We've got one of them. We've got one of them around here somewhere.
Well, they're just scared to get up in the air. They figure if they don't fall quite so far, they won't get hurt quite so bad.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What they don't realize is it's not the fall that gets them;
Yeah.
it's the sudden stop at the end.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Well, that's funny. I used to tell when I was a flight instructor back in the 70s, and I used to joke around with the people because they were scared. The students were scared of flying. And I used to say to them, I say, just there's this one statistic that you just need to keep in mind and then you won't worry. And that is 99.9999% of all aircraft accidents happen on the ground.
Yep, that's
Except for those drones.
Except for an occasional midair, all aircraft accidents happen on the ground.
that's exactly
And they
true.
they'd look at me like, that can't be true.
Yeah,
It's funny. A couple years ago, with my first Mavic, I was flying over a hill near me, and sure enough, and I was over some treetops, and a helicopter came along, the sheriff's helicopter, I think it was, either that or a mercy flight, and I didn't want to. I figured I'll go down as low as I can near the canopy of the trees, instead of trying to get back home before it got there. And but I didn't want to get too low where I lost signal and then goes into return to home and starts going up before it comes over. So I got it pretty down near the treetops, and you could see the shadow of the chopper in my video on the treetops go over.
Oh, wow.
And those helicopters, when you don't, by the time you hear them, and when they're flying low and they get there, it's pretty quick.
They'll
and
blow you right out of the sky too if
yeah,
they go right over the top
I
of you.
think I did the right thing. Just get down where they weren't going to be there at all.
That's exactly what you need to do. Is just
shadows.
Right.
get below the treetops.
Yeah.
That's the safest thing you can do.
Yeah.
If you can, by then you're almost on the ground anyway.
Yeah. Well, this was in an area where it was a little distance before I was out of the woods, so I didn't want to lose signal. I couldn't, other than ditching it into the trees.
Right. Right.
So,
but even with OcuSync, you absolutely can lose signal.
Yeah.
You absolutely can.
Yeah.
The other issue with this altitude stuff is, like Les this morning. Les flew about 8,000 feet away from his home point with his Mavic 2 Zoom at sunrise. And he's on a hill. 8,000 feet vertically or horizontally straight out from him. He was maybe at 1,000 feet ground level. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what the grade is. I don't know what the elevations are. But he was absolutely above 400 feet AGL. That kind of stuff, especially if some of these new things go into effect and they actually do start flying commercial delivery products, that kind of stuff will get us in trouble.
Yeah.
There's
lots of problems besides drones with our drones with, say, Amazon drones coming down to your yard to drop off a package.
Oh, yeah.
All kinds of problems.
Those things are going to have so much obstacle avoidance and artificial intelligence built into them. It's ridiculous because they have to avoid the trees. They have to avoid the power lines. They have to avoid the little girl on her tricycle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So,
and they have to knock on your door too.
Well, if you look at that UPS
Amazon, Land Shark.
if you look at
I'm lucky if they do that now.
They're flying. They're out in the middle of nowhere with that commercial. They're not they're out in. I won't say what I want to say, but they are not in
BF Egypt.
Yeah. Thank you. They are not in
Not in Manhattan?
Yeah. They're not in Mikey's location.
Right.
They're not in my location.
So are they you think they're really, if you had to get into their mind and figure what are they really planning for these things? You think they're planning primarily just rural stuff?
I think they're planning half a mile to 1 mile stuff within, a mile of the distribution centers. Easy and convenient, because think about it this way. Your Mavic 2, your average Mavic 2 Pro Series drone right now has about 30 minutes reliable flight time. If you fly it, you have a little bit less than that. If you strap loom cubes to it, you have a little bit less than that. If you put 2 pounds of weight under it, you have less than that. And now with loom cubes and strobes and 2 pounds of weight under it, now you have additional drag during flight, so you have even less. So now you might actually get 15 minutes of safe flight time, which means you've got maybe 10 minutes to your customer or I mean, yeah, 10 minutes to your customer and 5 minutes back bare naked, you know? So
And where are they going to leave these packages? They have to drop them in a big wide open area or set them down. They're going to land the drone and leave them, or they're going to lower them on a rope. I saw that
yeah,
idea the
I
other
don't think
day.
that's going to happen,
And,
but
The only way I could see this happening is on some sort of scheduled delivery where it's at a specific time where maybe you have to.
you meet them in the middle
You
of a
have to
vacant
be there.
Kmart parking lot or something, you know?
And maybe you even
how
have
is
to
that
put out
any
a
of this going to
landing
work?
pad or something for them.
Yeah, how
some
is
sort
any of this
marker.
going to work? I mean, when you think about the logistics of even just getting a package to you, leaving it on your porch, and then worrying about a porch pirate. Steve is back.
Well, not only that, but you know, right now the most efficient, and this may be all it ever becomes, the most efficient use that they have is in the medical field, carrying items from one hospital to another across town.
Right.
Because when you think about it, you know, if it has to fly 15 or 20 minutes to a hospital that's on the other side of a rather large city or medium-sized city, that drone's not going to have the power to get back to its original location.
Right.
That means the satellite location is going to have batteries. There's going to have to be a technician there that can inspect the aircraft, replace the batteries, charge batteries, do all this kind of garbage, and then somehow notify home point that it's now safe for flight. And the guy at home point's going to have to trust that the guy at satellite site said it's good to go and actually take off and fly the thing. Now, there are very few people that I would let tell me, yeah, your drone's got fresh batteries and it's ready to go. Go ahead and fly it. And I'm thinking,
Well, they
yeah,
have docking. Their plans. I saw the plans for one of these things, and it was a big, elaborate docking station
Yeah.
that didn't require somebody to change the batteries. The drone would just basically, the lid would open and the drone would land in, plug itself in like the Roomba vac, charge itself up, be ready to go. And the only thing the human had to do would be to open the little door and stick the package in.
Another thing too is I've heard the term, you know, the cost of the last mile of delivery is the highest cost, or something along that line. And but when my FedEx truck or
they call it
UPS truck,
final mile. Yeah.
right? But one argument, say, against that could be, I mean, they, you know, I don't know, they have their own reasons, but when a UPS truck goes down my street, oftentimes it's stopping 3 houses away to drop off another package. It's not one trip, one package, and then back to the center. You know,
The reason that the final mile is the most expensive, Mike, is because that's where most of the labor is involved. It's no longer automated.
Yeah.
Once you drop off your package at a post office or at a UPS center or whatever, automation takes over. That package is scanned, the barcode is read, it gets put on conveyors that make it go wherever it's supposed to go. It gets put on into a cargo container, it gets loaded on an airplane, it gets flown across the country. All of that is done automated. When it's time to deliver it, the automation comes to an end and somebody has to pick it up and read the address and take it there. That's the highest cost, what they call the final mile. And it might be 20 miles, you know, but they call it the final mile, or the last phase of the delivery. That is the absolute highest cost of the entire process from start to finish on a package shipment.
Speaking of the final mile, what happened to the Amazon, the little white Amazon delivery trucks? Remember them? Remember them? It's been months since I've seen one. For a little while there, anything I bought from Amazon used to come on their own little truck, and they had Amazon trucks, and they had an app, and it would tell you where the truck was. The truck is 5 stops away, and you could see on a map where it was, and you could see it coming closer. And then
I've
all
never
of a
seen
sudden,
those.
and all of a sudden, no more Amazon trucks. Now it's all back to post office and UPS. So
Must have
it
been
may very well be
population
that.
because I've never seen.
Yeah, well, we had it, and now it's gone, and I think that was just another. You raising your hand, Steve? Yeah.
My order that came in with the Fire Stick I ordered, there are Amazon trucks everywhere here.
Okay, so you still got them. I thought maybe they did away with them, but they're not here anymore. They're not here. I haven't had anything delivered. It used to be that everything I bought from Amazon would be coming on that thing, and the little white truck. And now I haven't seen one in months. So maybe they
They're all
deemed that it
gray
wasn't.
now. Brand new
Thanks.
all gray trucks.
Okay, so they're still doing that. I thought maybe they gave up on that and putting their hopes in drones, which is not a great idea.
No, the whole thing is
Great
where
trucks.
where I live in Tennessee. If it's supposed to, if you order something on Amazon, guaranteed delivered by Wednesday, and
Horse and buggy.
it's Monday night at 11 o'clock. Okay. No, they drop it at the post office. Let the mailman deliver it. They don't mess with that. They drop ship it to the post office.
Okay.
I get most everything now by postal, but some of the guys in the chat are saying that they still have those things. It may be that they decided that this route where I live wasn't dense enough for
Right.
them to support those trucks, and they stopped doing it here. But UPS brings anything that's large and anything that's like if I order batteries for my drone, anything that's considered hazardous comes by UPS.
Yeah,
Everything else comes by the mailman.
yeah. And those batteries, with being new, they're not even charged yet, so they're not even considered hazardous yet, are they?
EBR says that I'm not buying as much as you're buying, Steve, and that's basically why I don't rate my own truck.
Yeah, then you got to buy enough to send enough to the whole house, right?
Well, if I had Steve's money, I'd throw mine away, you know.
I don't know, EBR. I think Mitch is ordering an awful lot of stuff.
And if Mitch
He's
is going
building
to
a
start
drone
throwing
every
his,
other week.
No,
if
when,
Mitch
stuff-
is-
when you live in California, you just got to get used to everything's gonna keep up with the modern times.
Mhm.
and if Mitch is going to start throwing his money away, I'm going to put a pup tent outside his window
There you
so
go.
I can catch it.
What's funny is most of the stuff I order from Amazon,
24
like this.
bucks.
it's like this. Most of the stuff I order from Amazon are little tiny pieces and parts and things for my
Right.
FPV drones, and they come. A little tiny part this big, postage
no,
stamp
in the
size,
box
comes in an
big.
envelope about this
Yeah.
big, or a box about this big, and the postman he just throws them like they sent you an empty box, you know, or they sent you an empty envelope half the time.
Yep, that's funny too about Amazon.
Mhm.
I
And
got a
remember,
lot of those airbag,
that-
those plastic airbag things.
Yeah.
Gotta
Yeah,
fit
those
into yeah.
airbags come from China.
Yeah, just don't open them up.
Yeah,
Don't breathe that
Well,
Chinese
you know,
air, man.
people like
Right,
to pop
right.
'em, you know,
Are you staring us where I think you're staring us, Art?
Art's telling you that he thinks they're a Chinese plot to spread virus. Is what he thinks.
there
Yeah.
you go. And
Well,
did you hear about? There
I
was a
hate to
guy.
tell everybody, look at the influenza deaths last year.
Right.
There were 47 to 40, 46 to 47, between 46 and 47,000 deaths.
Yeah,
of
from the flu.
influenza.
Yep.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the
And
media
how many?
sounds
20
crazy.
million cases? Is that like there's like 20 million cases of the flu every year in this country? Some absurd amount of
Some absurd number like that.
yeah.
But yet
and
the fake news media would have you believe that, this is the worst thing that ever happened.
Oh no,
well, we
it's
talked
worse than
talked about that
Ebola.
last night on my show too. I went on a rant about all the crap that these
Yeah.
fake news people are trying to stir up in the name of hurting our president. But
Good for you. I missed your show last night. I wasn't able
yeah,
to.
that was we missed you too, Mel.
Well, that's nice of you to say.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Some of us were there.
Yeah, Steve was there. We had a good time last night. That was had a good time.
I was going to say, I bet y'all had a great time, huh?
I went on a little rant about how despicable some of these
Really?
people
So
are. and
somebody
their
goes on
political
rants
tactics.
besides me? Right on.
Oh, I'm.
Awesome.
I thought about doing. I thought of just about doing a YouTube channel like the Daily Rant, Old Guy's Daily Rant, or
Yeah.
something. Like I can do
Yeah.
a rant every day. I watch the news in the morning, and immediately I have enough ammunition to do a half-hour rant every day.
Yeah.
I don't know
You
if
could
that's
do
good or
that.
not. Yeah, I don't know
Well,
if that's good for my health, but
Yeah, watching the news, I sometimes I just got to tune out for like a week or so. I just, if you, especially with cable news, you hear the
Ugh.
same story over and over, and it's breaking news every minute.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Negativity, and it gets to you after a while. I turn it off and
Mhm. Yep.
pop in a movie or listen to music.
Yeah.
This breaking news stuff is ridiculous.
Right.
That's what I did. I stopped watching cable news. Well, I don't have cable, but I stopped watching network news, and I rarely watch even the local news because 5 minutes in, oh, Trump did it again. Oh, he screwed up. And it's
Yeah,
like,
he's the
ah,
biggest threat to our country since
yeah,
Genghis Khan, man. It's
yeah.
terrible.
And they are with this whole corona and other things. They are just that bad that they want to talk the economy down by November with this
Yeah.
virus and everything
Well,
else
of
Yeah.
course.
because that's the only chance they have.
The
Yeah, you
market
missed it.
is
You missed it.
crashing
You're
because
just
of
repeating
Corona.
my rant from yesterday, Mike. That that's what I was saying. You're absolutely right, and I'm hoping more people recognize it. That they're willing, they are praying that this virus kills thousands of people,
Right.
so
You
that they
know
can.
what,
Yeah, they're
Mitch?
praying for that. They're hoping for
what?
that.
You know what? Just tell them to look up coronavirus. It's been around
Yeah.
for 200 years.
Yes.
200 years. And if you look on a can of Lysol, it says it kills a coronavirus. And that didn't just produce a can and brand new can and label in 2 weeks. The people are so sheepish, it's pathetic.
And it's just and the timing of this. I mean, it's one friggin' scheme after another.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
and I think that's all this is. This is all just, a timing issue.
Right. And ratings, it's ratings.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, they need to get
the
clicks. These people can't.
coronavirus, first of all, guys, is not new. Okay, this is not a new
Yeah,
thing.
that's what Steve just pointed out.
There's been coronaviruses, like Steve said, but now they're trying to make this a big deal. The media is making it a big deal because in about 200 days we get to speak up again. 200 and some days here. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's that's what it's all about. So sit
Yeah,
back,
they're calling it the Trump virus now. These idiots.
Yeah.
have your
Yeah.
coffee. Pull a Bill Cosby, have a Coke, a smile,
I
and
can't
shut the
I
F up.
can't have I can't have I'm out. I'm out, and if I drink any more tonight, I won't sleep.
Yeah.
But
you
also,
know-
a scared public will always tune into the news.
Right,
And
and
I know
they get
people
watch time.
personally who are actually like frightened, women. But
Oh,
Come on, Mike.
oh no! It's a virus. It's gonna kill us.
But I mean, people who've got caught up in the news stuff, and I've had to tell them, and try and talk them down, like, this is not. There's nothing new under the sun here. The bird flu, SARS, all this stuff. It's the same thing.
Even
Yep.
Kenny is wearing a lab coat.
And remember, let's see, 40 years ago, it was AIDS.
Yep.
Right.
Mhm.
45 years ago, maybe it was, immune deficiency syndrome.
Right.
Yeah. So these things, this has been going on since the beginning of time.
Yep. Mhm.
And right now, the liberal media is eating it up because of what time of year it is.
But if you tell that to one of them, they look at you and say that's just a conspiracy theory.
Oh no, they'd call me a racist or something.
Yeah,
Right.
you're right.
Right.
Everything is racist.
Racist.
Oh,
Hey, Art, You know,
That's their reality, though. They actually think they've convinced themselves that they are actually, doing great work when it's absolutely ridiculous. The word
Yep.
journalism doesn't apply,
to liberals, it's always been the end justifies the means.
Yeah.
So there are no ethics.
Right.
I'm going to try something. I don't know if it's going to work, but I set
Okay.
this thing up and I've never used it
Okay.
ever. I set this
Go
up
ahead,
for my
sir.
channel and I never used it. So I'm going to see if it works. And if it doesn't work, I'll apologize. But it'll allow me to do some real important things and fit right in with the current trend of the media. Here it goes.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Is it working? Can you hear the music?
Yeah, we
Yep.
can hear it, but we can't see it because.
Oh, it's behind my sign.
Yeah.
Well, that was a thing that I did just to be funny when I had some breaking news that really wasn't important. I was going to do that on my show.
You got to have it come in from the other side of the screen, Mitch.
Well, if I'm big, in other words,
Or the top, one of the top corners or something.
if I was in my show, if I was full screen, then my name would be much smaller at the bottom. And
Right.
I did that long before StreamYards ever came along. I'm also going to change my style. I'm going to adopt the Bernie Sanders. The Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Instead of us all trying to talk over each other, I'm just going to sit there for the entire show and go like this.
Yeah. Raise your hand.
And yeah, don't forget
Yeah.
this part too. You got to do the karate chop thing,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Yeah.
Oh, God, I can't take it.
Oh,
I can't take it.
The tomahawk chop, you might get in trouble. Liz
I
Warren.
can't take it, guys. I just can't take it.
Do any of you guys watch Dan Bongino?
Oh, I watch them every day, twice on Sunday.
Yeah,
I watched
check
the
it.
show
Not all the
last
time,
night.
but I do.
I watched his show last night, and he did what he calls put the meat on the bones. He did the math.
He's incredible. He's the smartest guy on TV right now.
That
Anybody
is,
that watches him knows what's going on. I agree with you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Our entire public wealth, $83 trillion, I think, and he wants to spend 90. That's
So
seven.
Bernie, yeah.
That's 7 trillion over what all of us Americans have in our pockets and banks.
No, the world, not America.
No, Americans. America,
Yep.
the American people have about $83 trillion.
No, the world has $83 trillion, not Americans.
I'm going by what Dan Bongino
No, I
said
think
last night on his
think
show.
that not we're not talking about the
I
American
understood
government.
It to be, I understood
Yeah, I
it
think,
to be the American public. All of
Yeah,
our
I think he's
IRAs,
right.
all of our investments combined through all of the Americans that have them, money in the bank, savings accounts, everything, equals approximately $83 trillion.
Yeah, I think that's the total net worth of the entire American public.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
No, I don't
Well,
think
I
so.
don't know where
Steve.
you
Look,
get that, Steve. Dan Bongino last night said, this is what he said. This is
I'm
where I
Louis
got my
Louis
information.
Carter.
So that's
Welcome
all I
to
know.
Wall Street Week.
That's all I know is what I saw on his show. So I don't know the
We'll have to
world
we'll have to look it up. What is the net worth of the American public? Hold on a second here.
and what is the net
Let's see,
worth of the
Google.
world, because
Net
there's no way to
worth
figure that number.
Of the American public,
Just advice.
and the
By
answer
this show
is
we're not trained professionals.
listen. Jeff Bezos alone is worth 114 billion.
Yeah.
Is that after the divorce?
Here you go. The 400 richest Americans are worth $3 trillion.
Wow.
Steve, that's just 400 people. But I'm looking for where it says average American net worth. The average American net worth is huge.
I know the savings rate of the average American has gone down.
Well, you're talking
Sure.
about all the value of all the real estate owned by people as well.
Okay, well,
Every
get back
net
to the
wealth.
point. I'm looking this up too, but get back to the point. Go ahead.
The point was that all of America we have in assets $83 trillion.
Okay.
Bernie
Yeah.
Sanders
Yeah, he wants
wants to spend 90,
90, yeah.
but he's
And when
only
you ask
going
him-
to tax. He's only going to tax
The,
people to
the
50%.
billionaires, yeah.
No,
No,
he's
not tax the billionaires, yeah.
and he's only going to tax the middle income to at 50%. But
Yeah.
yet his spending requires every penny that all of us have and still leaves a deficit of $7 trillion. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out.
The thing
Well,
that scares
he
me,
can't
though, is
explain
the
it
people
either.
that buy it because they think they're going to be getting a free lunch.
But that's it.
Sure.
Half the people in this country will vote for free stuff every
Yeah.
time. That's the
Yeah.
strongest
Free
vote.
ice
that is
cream.
free.
Yeah.
Oh, I want Obama phones. How about Obama
Yeah.
phones?
I got my Obama phone.
Got me
Yeah.
an
I
Obama
hired-
phone.
I used to hire labor all the time in local cities, wherever I was, to do my jobs. And one guy had 2 Obama phones. I said, what do you need 2 phones for? He said, well, hey, they're free. I said,
They're free. Yeah.
free to you.
yeah.
You know, I said, that cost me money.
I actually got government cheese back in the 80s.
We did too when I was a kid.
I didn't need it.
I have
But
never
in the
done that.
apartment I lived in, they were giving it out, and they're like, "Mike, take some cheese." I'm like, "I don't want a 5-pound block of cheese," you know.
Okay.
And they like forced us.
I need some thought too.
And it's fake. It's fake cheese. It wouldn't even make good catfish.
I don't know what it was, like surplus military cheese. I mean, where the hell it come from?
Yeah,
Probably from left over from World War II.
but I remember as a little kid, 5, 6, 7 years old, my mom mixing water with this white powdered stuff to make milk to put on our cereal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that was the carnation something.
And she would mix it like quadruple the water to the milk so that the powder would last longer. We'd get a whole week out of it that way.
Oh.
Hey, Tater liked it. Tater said it was awesome. The government cheese.
Brown cardboard box was awesome. Yeah, I don't know.
It actually did look good cheese, but I didn't want 5 pounds of it. That was supposed to be for people who financially need it. It was
Well,
under
send it-
Reagan when they did
send-
that cheese
Send
giveaway.
it if you still have any of it, Mike. Send it to Steve. He wants it.
There's a
Yeah, stuff
petrified
doesn't go
piece.
bad. It gets better with age, doesn't it? Aged cheese. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
I
they
can,
say.
I can take it and sell it down over here at Taco Bell.
There you go. That cheese might be better than some of the crap they're selling today.
Let's see. So we're talking wine, cheese, and cigars. Then, right? They all get better with age.
There we go.
They do.
you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even some women I've known get better with age.
Good cheese is aged for years. Not just
Oh yeah. They got to carve the slime and the mold off of it. Same
Thank
thing
you,
with a
Chris.
salami. They hang these salamis up in the window
Yeah.
at the delis and they get
Yeah.
all green and they shrivel up. That's the best, man. Yeah.
We sliced a big hunk off, put it on some bread, and bake it in the oven. Made good cheese
you go.
toast. Yep.
There
Yeah.
you go. But I'll tell you, you're talking about Bongino. I've been following him for well over a year now, and
I'll be right back,
I
guys.
watch his show every day. I get it on YouTube. I watch it every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. I get notified.
He's one of the few people that really has nailed down the whole fraud
Oh,
that
it's
was
amazing.
perpetrated on Trump. He's written 2 books about that. He's going to be writing his 3rd book right now.
Yeah.
Incredible. And the one thing I love about him is the way he's got a mind like a steel trap when it comes to remembering names. And he
Wow.
he hears a name and then he goes back and he remembers where that name popped up before. And he has now created a cadre of people that are responsible for this whole nonsense. And they keep popping up over the past 4 years. They keep popping up, including the whistleblower, in this scheme.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's what his next book is going to be: the list of the collaboration of all those people and where they lie along the way.
Right. I think he said he's going to do one chapter. Each name is going to have its own chapter, and he's going to
That'll be
chronicle
cool.
how this particular person fits into the overall fraud that they've
Right.
perpetrated. And I'll tell you what, if that's true, and I have no reason to believe it isn't, then this is the greatest case of treason since Mutiny on the Bounty.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no other name for what this is. This is treason. When the members of a government go about trying to overthrow the leader, that's treason. And
Yep.
and as
Yep.
far as I remember, treason is punishable by death. I think in this
Yeah,
country.
so
I think
yeah.
it still is. Yeah.
But we
It's
can't
really-
even give these people a parking ticket.
it's the only penalty in government that is still there's still a death sentence.
But these
To me,
people
there's
are
something
not
No,
getting.
else
There's
from-
one other. There's
What's that?
one other, Steve. There's one other penalty in government that that you get issued a death sentence:
What's that?
crossing the Clintons.
True.
That's not a death penalty, because that would be a way
No.
that you could track them down.
Oh, that's a death sentence.
That's a suicide. It's a suicide sentence, is what
Yeah.
it is.
I saw a meme that when the rumor was out that Bloomberg was going to choose Hillary for his vice president,
Yep.
somebody put out a meme with Hillary's Clinton picture on it that said, "Just one suicide away from the presidency."
That's true. Have you ever seen a list? The list
Oh,
of like
it's 80,
86, 80 something people.
Yeah, 81 or 86 people. Yeah.
Wow.
That past associates of the Clintons that are dead.
And that list goes back to when he was governor of Arkansas.
Oh yeah, he had state troopers that used to front for him when he was out fooling around in hotels, and
All
yet
kinds of stuff.
they never even get a parking ticket. Those people,
Mhm.
none of them, none of them. But Mike Flynn's going to jail, or they're trying to put him in jail.
Yeah.
It's something drastically wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
Drastically, it's just
and why has there been no charges on the secret server in the bathroom closet? You know?
well, that's what I said. Something is desperately wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, there
with our
is-
justice system.
Yeah, there is an investigation going on that. That I do know. There is an investigation going on still. They're just not publicizing it, and to me, there's so many what
But
if.
there's enough actual facts involved with that's public knowledge. They don't need to investigate it. They need to just go lock her ass up.
But what they need to do is get it all set up so it's an ironclad case, because you know damn well they've got so much money hidden away in the Clinton Foundation.
Oh,
They'll
yeah.
have enough to buy every attorney in the world.
You mean they haven't spent all that money feeding starving children in Africa, like they said?
Haiti? In Haiti?
In Haiti?
They
And
could've
and,
built that
Oh,
island.
say it ain't so, Steve. Say it ain't so.
and Chelsea must be hanging around with the likes of Hunter, because they're both getting rich off of all this.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you got it.
The new one about Hunter, that he's trying to give himself a new image, that during his time that he was with drugs and trying to go to rehabilitation, he learned he was going into painting. So now it's coming out. I think he's gonna try to follow around how George Bush kind of retired, and he's done all these paintings now. He's done some really nice paintings. I've actually seen some of them. But now he's becoming this painter, so that's his new way of trying to just get away from everything.
Oh.
Yeah, Hunter Biden. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
hey, Art. If we keep going like this, we're going to get your show banned from YouTube.
Yeah, well, you guys were talking about the death penalty. Well, guess what? Our state legislature here in Colorado has, well, now they've passed legislation to do away with the death penalty here, and it looks like the governor is going to sign it.
That's too bad.
Yeah,
that's what happened in California. The citizens voted it in 2014. We voted for the death penalty back.
right.
Gavin Newsom overturned it in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
The governor just overturned it. Now, will you tell me where in any form of you want to talk about overthrow a revolution, where one person can just come overturn the whole entire vote
Mhm.
of the state? That's total BS.
Well, that's what happens when Democrats control every facet of government, from governor on down to dog catcher.
Well,
And
you
it
got to remember,
happened here in Colorado.
And
And
then are so bad in California, Art. I don't know if you heard about this, but Steve knows about this. I was at a hotel at the marina where Steve's boat is. It was about midnight. I'm sitting out in my pickup because I couldn't smoke in the hotel room. I'm sitting out in my pickup. I look at Steve laugh. He knows where I'm going. I'm sitting out in my pickup in the parking lot, minding my own business,
my Nero,
50 feet from the building.
right?
Right, Steve? My pickup was probably 50 feet from the building, maybe 40,
easy 50 feet.
something like that. And I'm talking to Lloyd on the phone because
Oh, there you
back here it was only like 10 o'clock or whatever.
go.
And this guy, I can see him in my rearview mirror walking around, all of a sudden walks up by my driver's door about 10 feet away and starts taking pictures of me with his phone. I'm sitting in my pickup, having a cigarette, drinking a soda pop or a bottle of water or something, and
Oh,
talking to Lloyd on the phone.
Oh.
Okay. So I told Lloyd, I said, hang on a minute, this weirdo just took my picture. So I get out of my truck and I said, hey, what are you taking my picture for? And he started walking away. Then I got a little
For clarity,
stern.
yeah.
And I said, hey, mister, I said, what are you taking my picture for? If I could run, I can't because of my knee, but Mitch is doing something weird with his camera. But anyway, I would have ran up and grabbed a hold of his coat, and grabbed him. But yeah. So the next day, Steve and I go have breakfast. And after breakfast, we go outside and we're outside the restaurant and I light a cigarette, after my breakfast. And then later in the day, Steve remembers to mention that the city of Dana Point has a no smoking ordinance. This guy
So
was
you have,
taking pictures of me in my pickup at midnight because
Yeah.
I was smoking a cigarette in the city limits of Dana Point.
so what you're telling us, Mel, is that you have broken the law.
Absolutely.
Breaking
Okay.
the law, breaking the law.
Because we started this whole thing with you coming on the show to tell us
Oh
that
no, I
you
was
don't
just saying
break the
I don't
law.
speed.
We all break the law.
We all break the law.
I'm surprised you're not in jail out there in California for that, Mel. That's a capital offense. That ranks right up there with hurting somebody's feelings.
There is no capital offense there. They did away with death penalty.
They let him off though, Art and Mitch. They let him off. The reason being is Dana Point. It's a city ordinance, no smoking in public. But the reason they let him off is Dana Point is still a conservative city. We actually still do the Pledge of Allegiance. We still have a prayer before us.
How are you surviving out
Nobody
there?
turned me in, but I'll bet that if someone had called the police, they would have had to come because it's required. If they get called, they have to show up.
Yeah.
And they very well wrote me a ticket for smoking in public. They very well might have.
Yeah. Well,
But
they haven't really.
My only saving grace might have been Tennessee license plates, Tennessee driver's license. I don't know the city ordinances in Dana Point,
Oh, and the gun rack by the river.
Well, now we don't need to talk about that, Art.
Mel, that may very well all add up to a capital offense in Dana Point.
Oh, T-Bird, yeah, sitting in the SWAT team.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You're lucky you weren't live streaming and you got swatted.
That'd be
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh, have you heard about that? Some YouTubers have been.
Well,
Well,
it's big in the gaming community. The gamers do it to each other a lot.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, somebody will get nailed in regular, like what we do with the drone stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Old Mark. Crap. Be right back. I gotta go get my Glock out of the truck.
No, you don't, Mark. Leave it in the truck. It's where it belongs.
You know, I'm watching on Netflix this El Chapo, They've got
Oh,
a
yeah.
mini. They've got a stream. El Chapo. It's a story of Joaquin Guzman.
El
You know,
Chapo.
El Chapo. Yeah, no, not chapstick. El Chapo.
Some people need super glue instead of chapstick.
So
Welcome back, Mike.
anyway,
Hello,
Thanks.
so
Mike.
I'm watching this, and it's all about the Mexican drug cartels and the crooked politicians and how the politicians down there are in bed with the drug lords, and the DEA is in bed with the crooked politicians who are in bed with the drug lords, and it's all fixed, and it's all. And I'm watching this, and I'm watching this, and I'm saying to myself, what's different about our government than that government?
Right?
When you know, and that's
Well,
why
in
when
a Clinton government, not much.
yeah, so that's when I think about stuff like what chance do we have with the FAA when they're willing to go to those lengths?
And that's
corruption to
it,
make
you know,
money.
I hope that they listen to what we're doing and how we feel about things, and I hope that they've been tracking now for a few years, statistics and actual small unmanned aircraft incidents, so they know what's going on, and hopefully they won't take everything away from us. My only, not my, I keep saying my only, but I have several issues with it, and one of them is the big box stores want to crush our airspace, force us to be remote ID'd, and make us pay for it.
Well,
And we shouldn't have to pay for it.
I'm
We
I'm
shouldn't
sorry
be-
I said that word FAA again, guys.
we shouldn't be, you know, held to that. And I mean, most of the people are hobby flyers.
mhm,
Very few are actually 107 certified when you look at the percentages.
mhm.
Very few of those are actually doing it for a living when you look
Yeah.
at those percentages.
Mhm.
And it's I don't know.
Just keep doing what you're doing. We got time.
Yeah.
We'll see what shakes out. And
Yep.
you know
You
what?
know the biggest
I'm gonna
you know
fly
the
my
biggest
drone
reason
anyway.
I keep my 107.
And
The
get
biggest-
your Ken Herron's FAA HQ shirt. Which
Nope,
says,
that's not the reason I keep my 107.
Because you're doing YouTube, probably.
Because I'm doing YouTube.
Yeah, that's why most of us are going to keep it. The drone
Yep.
work out there is not hardly worth trying to make
Yeah,
a business
that's
out
true.
of.
Not yet, anyway. It's wait till some of the rookies get pulled out of the air for whatever reasons and things, and then the serious guys that want to do it commercially will be able to do it. I had a realtor tell me that if I was in Nashville, she could get me enough work to keep me busy. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'd like to think
I
that she
gave
knows
up.
what she's talking about.
After I talked to a half a dozen realtors, I said, "There's no future in this."
They're
They,
undercutting the prices so much, it's unbelievable.
Well, my son's got a drone. Well, my grandson's got a drone, and he said he would take pictures of the houses for me.
Yeah.
And you say, well, that's against the law. No, well, they don't care. What do they care?
Yeah. Until
Most of them don't care.
Fine.
They don't. They don't give a
But when
damn.
if
It's not
enough
enforced.
of us, if enough of us, when we learn of an infraction, report it. The FAA has said they cannot police it. They don't have the manpower.
Now, how are they going to police it? How
Or
are they
the
going to go to the local park and stop me from flying a tiny little whoop around the bases of the trees? Are they going to be out
They-
there watching? No,
They right on their website it says if you have a problem with somebody flying a drone, call your local police. The
Yeah.
local police are working with us
Yeah.
to handle all of this. So, okay, that's okay, fine if the local police departments are up on the rules and
Yep.
they know what they're doing when you
They don't know what the rules are.
Right.
The,
You
um
know how that is.
the
But
police don't have any idea what the rules are.
most of them don't. But
No.
there's no reason they can't look it up or have someone in their dispatch office look it up or figure something out
Right.
when someone really is breaking the law. And if we get enough people turning in and complaining about the renegades and the outlaws, eventually we'll get most of the renegades and outlaws out of the air.
There was a gentleman that actually well, in fact, you did it too, I think, didn't you, Mel? Go to the not the city council, but the
County commissioner.
the group of business owners.
Oh yeah.
Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce. Did you go to the Chamber of Commerce? I know we were talking
I am a member of my local chamber, yes.
There's a guy here that did it, and what he did is he put on. They invited him over there to put on a lecture, and he went and talked about it.
Uh-huh.
And he made just a little small, like a half sheet of paper, talking about the rules of saying anytime you're monetizing and everything right out of the FAA rules. About having to have a Part 107 in order to shoot for the real estate end of it. And he started handing this stuff out, and then attached to it was his business card, of course.
Mhm.
He ended up picking up all this business, and all of a sudden there was a bunch of realtors that came up and says, "Oh, that's a bunch of BS." So he had the FAA rule book with him. He actually brought it with him.
Right.
And he goes over there and he goes, "You want to see it?"
Yeah.
And guess what? If I find out and I see anybody doing it, I'm turning them into the FAA and reporting them. And I'm going to report in the name of the person that hired him.
Yep.
Because they should know it.
Yep.
And this guy, they were like boycotting him, went through a rough spell for about 2 months. And then the next thing he knew, he went from doing a business at about this level, going up and down, up and down. He just watched his business go up by 5 times, and for what he started out charging, and of course, when you first started out, like Chris Hope was saying, it got flooded, so everybody was dropping their prices. His price went back up above and beyond what he was charging for a regular price.
Was this on YouTube?
No, there was a gentleman that did it on the YouTube, Mike, and that was the one I'm trying to remember.
Was it he's in California, I think. Oh God, what does he call his channel? He has like a dragon or something for his logo, I think.
That doesn't really felt familiar, but
he went to like a town council meeting or something like that, maybe a Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce.
And he wasn't exactly, didn't get a warm welcome because, they immediately thought some kind of nut job. He's not one of us. But, I forget how it ended up with him, but
he joined it like Mel did. He joined the Chamber of Commerce ahead of time, and he was going there at one of their network gatherings, and they brought him in as a speaker. And he goes, "I'm here to keep the realtors legal, so they do not get in trouble." So what he did is he used it as a positive, talk. And of course, there's the ones that were against it, that have their brother or their son, or they're doing it themselves, for any of the aerial stuff. Mm-hmm. But he's doing real well.
I did get basically run out of my local small town newspaper because I called on them.
Oh, okay.
The editor said that she has a drone and she does all the aerial photography. And I said, "Are you 107 licensed?" And she said, "No." I said, "Then you're breaking FAA rules, right?" She said, "No, I can take pictures for the newspaper." I said, "No, you can't, because the newspaper sells that printed picture. That's in furtherance of a business. According to the FAA, the photographer for that image has to be 107 certified."
So she threw you out.
She threw me out.
Get the hell out of here.
She basically, we had a nice little visit while she escorted me to the door. It was rather interesting.
Our newspaper here, what's left of it, is gone. They have a YouTube channel now, and they've got two people who are 107 who fly their drones, so they're legal. And I ran into one of them this past summer. I was flying outside of a movie theater that has like an Art Deco marquee to it, and I was taking photos. And she walked by me and inquired, what my status was, and I was flying as a hobbyist, and I had a strobe on the drone and everything because it was after dark, so
Right.
I was legal on everything. So it was kind of good to hear that, some people do know the rules and are following them.
How far after dark?
It was night. I mean, with a strobe, as a hobbyist, you're allowed to fly at night, right?
Yep.
During civil
Yeah, as long as it has 3 miles visibility, I think.
I thought just during civil twilight. Once civil twilight's over, nobody's legal, right?
I think hobbyists are.
Hobbyists are.
It's weird how hobbyists almost have more rights than 107 people.
That is
That
true.
never made any sense to me.
I'll give you that. That is true.
Well, there's a lot of people that flip houses, and they, if you say to them, "Are you a realtor?" They say, "Hell no." Because if I was a realtor, I couldn't do half the shit I do as an individual buying and selling these houses.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Same thing is probably true for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't renew our 107s, Mel, if we're not actually getting paid dollars for it. And if they want to come after us on YouTube for showing our videos, all you got to say to them is basically, well, at the time I flew this flight, it was a recreational flight. I had no intention of ever showing it on video, and they asked me to, so I did, and then it's legal.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it does matter. It does matter. The intention at the time of the flight determines whether it was a commercial flight or a non-commercial flight.
Right. But later, if you collect revenue on that flight video, it becomes commercial.
It's not what Ken Herron told me on his show. I don't know for sure, but he basically, somebody was saying on YouTube that the question came up. Well, I was on vacation a year ago, and I shot this footage at the resort, and somebody from the resort came and wanted to buy it from me. Can I sell that to them without a 107? And the answer was, if at the time you flew the flight, the intention was not to make money with it, then yes, you can sell it and make money with it. I don't know, something worth looking into.
Interesting.
I've heard that, but I don't know the validity of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't either, but
Just like Mark was saying, anything to furtherance of a business, and if you're selling it, yeah, it is. You're selling it.
Right.
yeah, but again, if you did it and then somebody came along afterwards and offered you money for it, when in the first place you really didn't do it to sell, they're
Yeah.
saying that that's
Okay,
not.
so you
didn't.
really didn't do it to sell, but then 6 months later you sell it, and it becomes in furtherance of a business.
Right, but you can't. But at the time you flew it, you
Doesn't-
didn't have a 107.
I don't think that.
I think that's probably worth trying to. It's probably one of those interpretations of the law
could be.
that could go
be.
either way. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
At any
But
rate,
you can give the footage away.
it's all such nonsense when you stop to think about it. In the
Sure.
overall scheme of right, wrong, evil, and good,
Yep.
to have us nitpicking
It's
over
such
something
petty. It
this
truly
stupid.
is petty.
this stupid
But-
about a friggin' drone picture, for God's sakes, and licensing, which
You
in
know
a
the
free
funny thing
country,
about
in a free country that we have here, all this licensing in a free country.
it, imagine
Oh, Tater has a
we
point.
divided on the topic, and
Hi,
guess
Tater.
what's that?
If I took some video and gave it to you, then 6
Well,
months
I've all ran it out tonight, Art. I gotta save a little of this for my
No.
workshop tomorrow night. So I'm going to
No,
bug out and go out and have my.
You give away the video or an image, and you release all rights to that person.
Yeah, that's
You no longer have control of that
Mhm.
image or video.
As I was saying, Mel, I'm going to take off now.
No.
all right. Mitch. Well,
And you guys all come and visit. You guys all come and visit me tomorrow night at 8:00 Eastern time on the FPV workshop, and we'll talk.
Oh, wait a
about-
second. Wait. You're furthering a business here. You're monetizing it. You're furthering.
I am monetized. I have a 107 license. I have a driver's license. I have a pilot's license,
But you're doing it on a channel that's
and I have a license to kill. I have a license to kill too. So with all those licenses, I'm advertising here.
but you're doing it on a non-monetized channel.
But then it's legal. Now, if it was a monetized
Fun,
channel,
not Mitch.
Get the hell out of here.
my brain's going to explode if I go any further. My brain it hurts already. So anyway,
Fun.
always good to see you guys, Mike.
All right, good to see
Art,
see
you.
you,
your
Mitch.
1 hour show's been going on for 2 hours already.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
Yeah, but
Get those hours in, Art.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I'm trying to see if I can't get your show canceled and thrown off the air, Art. I mean,
You're on your way, Mitch.
I know.
hey, Mitch, right after this, you leave, go over to your laptop, and then play all of the playlist for my live streams, and I'll
Oh,
build
of
up.
course, to get you some watch time.
Yeah.
Because you too, Art, you too, like me, Art, you too can be sharing in the wealth of earning 6 cents a day, 8 cents a day. It's fabulous, isn't it, Mel?
Actually, Mitch, if Art joins that, we'll only get 5 cents a day. So we don't want him to join.
Right. The pie gets cut up even smaller. It's Mel, we just don't quit our day jobs. That's all.
Yeah.
Right?
But does that monetization that enables
okay.
super chats as well, right?
Yeah. Now you can make a little money if people keep throwing money at you, but
Yeah.
we only have.
Great
Yeah.
Bob.
Look, you have we have 20, 30 people that are almost like our circle of friends. Okay.
Much.
When we first get monetized and somebody throws you $10, it's just kind of like a nice thing. But you can't. I don't expect, nor do I want these people to be trying to give me $10 a week or $20 a week.
Well, you're a
they need the money
multi-millionaire.
too.
Nobody wants to throw you any money.
Yeah, I'm a multi-millionaire. Yeah.
Like I said, when you start getting his money and throwing yours out, I'm gonna camp out outside your window.
I got sad news for you. I already threw mine out.
Art, how
man.
many?
Not only do the super chats and things help, but believe it or not, the more videos you have on your channel, if someone gets a recommendation because they're doing a search on a particular topic and your video happens to come up, and then they go look to see what else you have on your channel and watch a few more of your videos, those videos all have ads in them too.
Yeah, they have ads, and it does. I've had in advertising revenue some days that actually went as high as 30, 35 cents.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
Really?
So yeah, but that's with 1,000 subscribers. Now, if I had 1 million subscribers
Right.
and you multiply that 35 cents times 1,000, now you're talking, $350 a day. That's now starting to become real money.
Yep.
So these people with did I got my math right, Steve? Steve looks puzzled. 35 cents times 1,000 is how much?
Is that Joe Biden?
That's 35,000.
No, 35 cents times 1,000.
Yeah, that's 35,000 cents.
$35.
$350.
So, Art, are you
Yeah,
sure
you
that
got
hours that you
yeah,
only
so
make it monetized
$350.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My brain's hurt. My brain's hurting again.
1.8K.
Good night, guys. Good night, guys. I'll see you
Good night,
tomorrow night.
Mitch.
Good night, Mitch.
Okay,
Yeah.
take care. Good to see you all. Bye, everybody in the chat.
And Art, I'm going to jump out too. Thanks for letting me come in. Thanks for sending me that link for it. And as always, we have good discussions.
Yes.
I like the way we do these. I like that nobody gets mad. Nobody gets, it turns into a really good debate sometimes. And that's always good because we learn from that.
Right.
That's right.
I do. I learn things all the time from it.
Mhm.
Steve's
Good to see you, Mel.
All right. Take care, Mel.
All right, I'm going out, guys. Thanks, Art. See
You're
you.
welcome.
Take care, Mel. Have a good rest of your
All
weekend.
right.
See you guys. I'll
Okay.
be on my show tomorrow night. Now, don't forget.
I'll be there. And
Art, 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 I'll try and make a point sometimes of on my iPad or whatever. Set it aside and turn the volume down and let it run. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah,
I'll do
that
that.
helps. I know Tater's been helping me, and Mike B, the AKA Drone Ranger, he's been doing that for me. If I get just 10 people doing that, and my live streams, they average about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And
Well,
and this is number 58. The first few they weren't very long, but going back a year, that'll add up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
you
Yeah.
got
Well, I'll pop a playlist on, keep them going.
you've got
I have
30.
three
I'll bet you got
playlists.
over 30 hours on this program tonight.
Okay, cool.
You've gone over 2 hours, and I've been watching the count, and you've been above 15 without a
Yeah,
fail
yeah,
all tonight, averaging.
yeah,
So, and you were up and down. So, as I'm saying, you're going to be somewhere probably between 30-35 watch hours on this video tonight.
right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And does that include anyone watching replays?
Yeah,
What's that?
Watch hours. In other words,
yeah,
watch
that
hours,
counts.
does that also include your
Yeah,
regular
that
videos
counts as watch
or
time.
replay of this chat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, in other words, everybody watching the live chat,
Oh,
that clock is ticking.
yeah.
That's how Claude, Drone Effects with Claude,
Yeah.
got monetized so quick because he had the watch hours, but he didn't have the subscribers. Because
Right.
he had like 6,000 watch hours his first year.
Yep.
I mean, that's unbelievable.
Oh, speaking of unbelievable, uh,
Oh yeah, you're
my godson's mother in the Philippines, she just started a channel January 2020. She's over 900 subs right now.
Yeah.
it's unbelievable.
In a little over a month. I mean, it took me a year just to get to 1,000,
Yeah.
and here she is. Oh, I'll start my channel. Billy up and boom. 6 weeks later, 8 weeks later, she's like almost to 1,000. I'm like, oh, holy crap! I wish I could grow like that. And her videos are just short little videos of her kids, and she does some TikTok stuff
Hey,
that she posts.
Geeks Vana's in the house there.
Yeah,
Hello,
Hey,
sir.
Sean. He's up late.
yeah, that's right. Well, we had a guy from
Oh,
Norway.
EVR was up late too, 3 a.m. for him there.
Wow.
And yeah, so we had some people from Europe watching tonight, so that helps.
Now,
Uh,
Art, speaking of the Philippines, you recently put a post on Facebook, which I noted, and you replied. What's the deal with these girls over in the Philippines I see you hanging around with? I mean, a couple of those photos, man, um,
oh, one with me and
in
Yolanda.
the hot tub.
Oh, yeah.
And this, I'm not kidding anybody. This is real. And Art had the most perverted look on his face in one of those photos. But I'm like, maybe this Filipino thing, there's something to it.
Yeah. Uh, the thing about Filipinas, uh, they are they're not like American women because they're still feminine over there. They haven't been corrupted by feminism like they have been here.
They didn't get Donahue over there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so and they're loyal. They're very family oriented. Well, because the country is 90% Catholic or Christian,
Right.
where 80% of that is Roman Catholic. So yeah, they're very family oriented, very friendly people. I mean, I've been over there once and just love the people over there. They have their respect for older people. When I met Yolanda's youngest sister, one of their culture things is they take the hand of someone that's older than them, and they press it against their forehead. That's sign of respect. And when she did that, and I knew what just happened, and that just kind of made me smile. I'm like, oh, hey, that's cool.
Yeah. Well,
So
she was a
now we
babe.
got Greg Oz by Drone in.
Hey,
Yeah.
Greg.
Hello, Greg.
Filipino women, girls will be girls except the others. Oh, wrong one. Wrong. There we go. Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta watch out for the lady boys.
All right. Surprise.
It's formerly, yeah, it's a blessing. Yep, that's right.
Well, that's it. Very interesting.
Oh, Tater's dad's girlfriend is from Cebu. Oh, nice. Another fact about the Philippines is they speak 150 different languages in the Philippines. That's how many dialects that they have there, and they are the second largest English speaking nation in Asia.
Wow.
Yeah, because everybody is taught English. I mean, it was an American colony for, oh God, 50 years. Yeah,
Well, goes back to the with the air bases being there.
yeah. Well,
Right.
right
World
after
War
the
II.
Spanish American War, it became a territory of the
Yeah.
United States up until 1946 when we granted them their independence.
Yeah.
And and that's why they've got a lot of call centers there. And those people, their English is very good. And it's
Mhm.
not, like English, like Australia. You think
Right.
Australia is nearby. They don't, they speak like Americans speak. They
Mhm.
don't speak like the Indian English.
Well, I think that goes back to what I was saying, having the military presence that we
Yeah,
had over there,
that's true.
coming from the Americans being there, and that's where it came from. Because when I was in, that's where we used to fly to from here. Our medical aerovac flights that we would fly to, right towards the end of the Vietnam War, and we were starting to pull out. We would fly from here to Hawaii, from Hawaii to Clark to the Philippines, and then make that trip back, and then also flying into Travis Air Force Base up in the Sacramento area, up near Rick Halber.
Right. Yeah, Greg says they speak Taglish. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Their official language is Tagalog, and yeah, they kind of mix it. Well, if you listen or watch their TV, they'll be speaking in Tagalog, and all of a sudden you'll hear an English word thrown in here and there.
Mhm.
Yeah, but there are some Spanish words in Tagalog,
Right.
like trabajo. What are some of the other ones? Oh, for hour, hora,
Mhm.
and yeah, if you and there are some Spanish foods that they make like empanadas, flan, and menudo.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yes,
when.
taters is right. The only or if you are married to one, you get what's called a K1 visa, which is a what they call a fiance visa, where they come over here for I
Yeah.
think 90 days. Yeah, 90 days, and so within that 90 days, you can get married, and then they could stay here. But and then there's another one. There's a C1 visa where if you marry a Filipina in the Philippines, they could come over here.
Mhm. Well, then you have to apply. You have to apply for it.
Yeah,
It takes a
that's
while.
right. I think that it seems like the C1 visas, there's fewer hoops to go through than the K1 because you got to go through a background check. You got to make sure person here in the States doesn't have domestic violence issues or any kind of criminal record. Same with the person in the Philippines. And you got to prove that you're not married because in the Philippines they don't have divorce. They have what's called annulments, and that could take up to 1 to 3 years
Okay.
and a lot of money.
Yeah.
90-day fiance, yep.
Wow.
Uncle has, and they are. I think they're the prettiest women on the planet.
There's some very beautiful women over there.
Yep,
I know.
for
I
sure.
know. I know of a couple people that have. They do a lot of sailing. You know, the worldwide sailing. You know,
Right?
and their trips over there. One of the things they've done. Two of the guys that I know, they've actually purchased. I don't know how you do it if you're actually allowed to purchase it, but they purchased homes over there and everything, and they live half the year over there
Right.
and then half the year here.
The thing is, the spouse has to be a Filipino or a Filipina to own property there. Because myself, I can't own property, but if I live over there and I become a citizen after what 5, 10 years, then I could own property. But here's the other thing: I can buy a condo over there.
You're not buying the property; you're buying the building.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's what I'm saying. He doesn't own the property, but he
Right.
owns like an apartment or a
Mhm.
condo over there. The one guy
Mhm.
does, and he goes over there and he goes, the cost of living is
Oh
so
yeah, yeah.
inexpensive over
That's true. That's true. You could rent a 4 bedroom house for under $500 a month. Yep. Yep. And their internet is better than in Australia.
there.
They actually have
Well,
five.
that's everyone's internet is better
Yeah,
than Australia,
true.
from what we've heard. Sorry, Greg.
Oh, and they're big on malls. Their malls are.
He's even agreeing with it. Oh, fiber internet.
Yep. Yep. And yeah, the biggest expense you'll find in the Philippines will be electricity
Oh yeah.
because what? Because and a lot of times it's down, so you'll have brownouts that'll last up to 12 hours.
Mhm.
So if you get a house, get solar so you can charge up batteries or have a portable generator because it's going to get hot without an aircon.
Air conditioning.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if you're charging with batteries and you're talking air conditioning, you're talking about a massive amount of storage of batteries in
Right.
order to power an air conditioner.
Refrigerator, air conditioning,
Yep,
running your laundry,
yep,
all that heavy use stuff.
yep.
Yeah.
Well, one of the channels I follow is My PI Dreams, which Greg had James Tanner on his show a couple weeks. Uh, he built a home out there, and one of the things he did is he got a generator that automatically kicks in when there's a brownout.
Mhm.
And the only thing he has to do is have enough fuel to keep the generator going. And it's a separate room in his house, and it's vented so it doesn't cause any gas issues in the
Carbon
house.
dioxide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I've
good
got one
for
of
you.
those home generators that automatically kicks on, when the power goes out. And for me here, where it's sub-zero sometimes,
Right.
and I live alone, I can't get up and start a generator myself and all that
Right.
stuff. So it's not a luxury for me; it's a necessity,
Yeah,
Right.
it's a
And
necessity without a doubt. Now,
yeah,
are you on propane or natural gas?
natural gas.
Yeah.
So as long as the gas keeps coming through, it
Right.
has a car battery that's always charged. It's trickle charged all the time, you
Uh,
know, and and it starts itself once a week to self,
mhm.
test and all that stuff. So I hope I never need it, but it's there in case, especially in the cold.
Yeah.
Hey, let's say welcome to John Spizzo. Spizzo. I
Welcome,
think he's
John.
one of the guys that I follow on one of
John.
the Philippine channels. I recognize the name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. With you, definitely, Mike. You'd have to do that because of the cold is it's the exact opposite of the Philippines.
Right. And we
Yeah.
had a storm back here in '98 on Labor Day, which the power was out in my house from Monday, early Monday morning around 1 till the following Friday. And, it was only in early September, so the temperature wasn't a problem. But man, living by candlelight alone,
Oh,
that sucked.
yeah.
Yeah.
And not being able to put the TV on. I had
Yeah.
plenty of
I gotta
radios
charge
for
my
battery and
phone.
stuff, but
Dang it.
and I wasn't living my life on the internet back then either.
Yeah.
God, now I don't know what to do. So,
Now you'll need an extra generator just to power up the computer.
right.
Yeah. Mhm.
So
Damn, where's that extra battery?
Well,
Right.
I know with a couple of the solar companies that they've gone through because of Tesla. I know one of the things they're starting to do now to sell here in California, because any new home being built in California has to have solar panels on it. So if you're building a new home, you've got to put solar on the home. Has to
Wow.
be completely integrated with it.
Hmm.
But what they're doing with Tesla, uh, with the one company, they're selling them their battery bank units. So what that's doing is like for a person like with you, Mike, you can have I think one pack is good up. It's either to 4 or 5 electrical circuits. So you could say, well, the one circuit would power a refrigerator, another one would power plugs, another one
right,
for lights, say for emergency equipment that would have to be for a person, and it'll run off that battery bank then for roughly 48 hours, figuring on a full load for the 4 or 6 circuits. I forget what the calculated load
right,
is. But I mean, you could actually say, I'm running a refrigerator for 48 hours, I'm running lights for 48 hours out of power items. But what they do is they come in, they put that pack in, and then they pull those circuits on your panel and they wire it to it. So those are
right.
on that
No.
battery power system now. So it's kind of cool the way that they're doing it.
Yeah, that's the way. When I first did it, I only had it on a limited number of circuits, and
Right.
then I had it changed where I got a bigger generator, and they're just all on there.
Right.
But
Mhm.
it's and then and of course I haven't had to use it by necessity since. But now I just jinx myself. But
Yeah.
hopefully
Well,
never do.
do you run it? You run it. You exercise it every so often, right?
Yeah, every week it starts itself and runs for like 12 minutes.
Uh huh.
you know. So it's pretty cool. And I get it maintained every year. Oil change, spark plug, air filter, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
So
folks, I'm going to shut this bad boy down. Uh, my views are starting to drop off. I'm down
yeah,
to 12 So, but hey, a few people jumped in, and it was right at 15 for quite a while there. And so let's shut this bad boy down so I can go eat at 7:30 here. I'm pretty darn hungry. Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, hey, thank you for coming in and being part of the panel. And we'll see you all next week, okay?
All right. Thanks a lot, Art. Good to see you, Steve.
Good to see you, Mike. Have a good rest of your weekend, gentlemen.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. Hey, thank you for coming to the show. John Spizo, that's how you say his name. Thank you for coming to the show. Steve Mack, uh, Greg Oz by Drone. Pleasure having you here. We got to talk a little bit about the Philippines tonight. Tater, thank you very much. Keep running those playlists for me. I'm trying to get more people to do that. Uh, Steve Mack, if you could help me out, run through the playlist and help me build up my watch hours. Uh, Same with you, Greg. You're the computer guy. You probably have an extra computer. Just oh, wait a minute. You don't have. You got DSL, but hey, it still might work. Just run the playlist. Help build up those watch hours for me, and let's really get this show going. 2 weeks I will be in sunny Melbourne, Florida, and so I'll have a lot of drone footage and fishing footage down there. Bob Casey, thank you for stopping by. Everybody have a great weekend. Catch you next week. Bye bye.